Stand. Make sure the volume's down on my phone. Up. New York Giant fans want to say thank you to Bobby. Stand up, Bobby. Welcome to becoming a new member of the channel. Member stream will be tomorrow. I said it was going to be yesterday. I needed a day off. After that complete disaster on Sunday, it wasn't just the Giants. Obviously, we got bad luck with Washington, Dallas, and Philadelphia all winning. So it was a really tough Sunday. Obviously, we were all really upset after the results, the way that the New York Giants played. I don't think any of us were that happy with the output in that game. I was very optimistic going into the game. I thought we matched up pretty well with Arizona, and it is what it is. I should learn better as a New York Giant fan. When you think something's going to go one way, it goes the other. And it was a tough loss. Obviously, there was a lot of blame to go around. Kind of talked about it today in my video. I'll talk about it more in the stream. Talk to you guys about the future of this team, the way the team's operating, man. What's going on, G-Man Sports? Hey, Chris, what's up, man? What's going on, G-Man Sports? What's going on, Swaggertron? What's going on, Louis Brand? What's going on, Jawad? What's going on, DK? What's going on, Rory? What's going on, Deception, man? Thanks for popping the stream. My man, Clocks is in the stream. What's up, Clocks, my man? I know I saw Afghanistan here. I saw who else? Let me throw Collins. What's going on, Paul? What's going on, Big Play Slay? Thank you to everybody for being here. Dan, Jersey Life. By the way, I think I said it, but just in case, my member stream is going to be tomorrow. I said that at the top. Roldy, I know, is in here. Rowan, what's going on, man? Bark, what's going on? James Carpenter, Jersey Life. Wolves, thank you for being here. Swaggertron, Angel, Chris Leone, MY Giants 26, White Lotus. Thank you guys for being here. Clock says, if we stay DJ, you go O-line, D-line, cover corners in draft. If you want a quarterback, you can win for us. You move on from DJ. I'd rather give Detroit number one pick for Stafford. We are a winning team with him. Listen, I know you're a huge Stafford guy, and Stafford's a really good quarterback. The thing with Stafford is he's already making a lot of money. It's also going to depend on whether or not the Lions want to take a quarterback. I honestly don't see it happening. I think I see the Giants, if they're going to move on from DJ, in my honest opinion, Clocks, and maybe I'll be wrong, and I don't think they are, but if they were going to, I think it would be in the draft, and obviously it would only happen if we brought in a new GM. I think Jones is going to be your quarterback in 2021. I can't say anything definitively. We all know that surprises happen with this football team from time to time. I think Jones is going to be your quarterback in 2021, and we'll see how it plays out from there. And I think the objective in this offseason, depending on how the season plays out, if you're going to stick with Jones, is you do everything in your power to get the most out of him as your quarterback, and you find out if he is the answer going forward. You get him a number one wide receiver. You shore up the offensive line. If you feel like you need to make a change with the scheme, you do it. And if it doesn't work out, that's when you start to think about making the change. But we'll have to wait and see what happens in the offseason, man. Clocks, man, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, man. What's going on there, Chad, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Dag's in the stream. He says, hey, Chris, we need to run the ball versus the Browns. They couldn't stop the run last night. Let's bounce back, baby. Dags, that's got to be the objective going into that game. And obviously, it's going to be very hard to stop the run against them as well. They have one of the best running offenses in football, but I'm completely with you. That's got to be the objective going into any game. I mean, at the end of the day, that's got to be the objective going into any game for this football team. I know a lot of people want to air it out, and I get that. It's not going to be a call tonight, Wolves. No, it's going to be a Q&A hanging out with the chat. But that's the strength of this football team. It's ball control, keep that defense fresh, and close out games with the stronger unit on this team, and that's the defense. But especially in a game like this, I think we need to run the ball as much as we can. I thought that we got too far away from the run last week. Whether or not Jones starts or McCoy, I think you got to run the ball. Anthony, man, thank you very much. We need Jamar Chase. Having a number one wide receiver will ease up the pressure. Yeah, Anthony, I mean, again, that's going to depend on where we're picking. But, yeah, I'm starting to become more and more open to if we stick with Jones, getting him a number one wide receiver. Because you look at this receiving core right now, I mean, it's bad. I mean, Darius Slayton I like, but he's not a number one. We don't have a number one option. We got to do whatever we can to open up this offense and give him some weapons. If either way, if we're drafting a quarterback or sticking with Jones, we need to get a number one option. We'll see what we do in the offseason. A lot of it's going to come down to free agency and everything else. But right now I'm focused on the Browns. We'll see how we bounce back. I think the Giants are going to put forth a good effort. I really do. I know a lot of people are down in the dumps with the effort we put forth this week. But what I'll say is, man, the Giants, every time they put up a stinker this year, they found a way to bounce back and put forth a really good effort. I think they're going to come with a good game plan. I think the team's going to fight hard. We may be outmatched. Cleveland's a really good football team. You saw it last night. But I do think we're going to come with a good game plan. I think we're going to come with a good effort, and I think we'll keep it competitive. But we'll see what happens, man, on Sunday night. Looking forward to it. The good news about playing on Sunday night is we're going to know where we stand. You know, obviously all the other teams, I don't think any of them are playing on Monday night, are playing before we play. So we're going to know where we stand if we win, whether or not Washington lost to Seattle. So we'll see how it all plays out. Deception, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Stand up, New York Giants fans. Hey, Chris, my wife and I just picked up our German Shepherd puppy, but need help with the name. Any suggestions? Maybe Tana deception. No, I'm kidding. You could go with maybe Barkley. I mean, Barkley fits really well. It's a dog. Got to go with Barkley, man. Go with Barkley deception. That's what I would go with if I got a new dog. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. Clocks, man. Thank you very much, bro. Stafford is 16 paid quarterback in the NFL. We can do it. Hey, I like Stafford. I've always liked Stafford. I've always thought that Stafford was an underrated quarterback and he was in a really bad situation in Detroit. We'll see. I honestly don't think they're going to go that route. I know a lot of people are talking about potential free agent quarterbacks and trading. I think we're going to give Jones another year. I could be wrong, Clocks. But I think we give Jones another year and we try to shore up this offense. I do like Stafford, though. I've always liked Stafford. It's why I was high on the Lions this offseason. But I think that we stick with what we got for one more year. And we'll see. Maybe they don't in the draft. A lot of it's going to come down to the general manager, whether or not Dave Gettleman stays. But in the end, I think Jones will be your quarterback in 2021. German brother, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. What's up, Dana? How you doing? What will it take that you lose faith in Daniel, considering we give him weapons next year? Peace from Munich, Germany. Well, German, I kind of talked about that today, man, and I try to be as fair as I can. I think a lot of people seem to think like I'm a Jones defender. I think I'm kind of very in the middle. Like, I've never been completely sold on Daniel Jones. I've also never been completely against him. I was against the pick. I thought it was a bad pick on draft night. I didn't think that we were set up to help out a quarterback, a young quarterback, and he's a quarterback that needs help, just like most quarterbacks. So I didn't think it was the right time to take a quarterback, especially at the 6th pick in a defensive-rich draft, but we're past that now. He's the quarterback of this football team. I think we need to do everything in our power next offseason to help him out. I mean, that's my mindset with Daniel Jones right now, if he's going to be the quarterback going forward, and I think he will be. And if he does not get better next year, that's when you start to think about potentially making a change. But I think we got to figure out what we got. Roldy, man, thank you very much. That's true. We need a number one target, but having a number one target is not going to hide Jones' inability to have pocket awareness and other issues. Roldy, I agree with. I mean, listen, Roldy, I completely get where you're coming from. I think if I'm going to be, I think Jones's pocket awareness has gotten better this year. I'm not telling you it's A+. I'm not telling you it's great. It's not. Last year it was horrible. I think it's gotten better this year, and hopefully it grows more. I think his pre-snap reads have definitely gotten better, but he's far from a finished product. I'm going to be the first to tell you. I look around the league right now, if I'm being honest, unbiased, and objective, and there's very few quarterbacks outside of teams that are going to be in the market for drafting a quarterback that I would take Daniel Jones over. That's just facts. That's just being honest. Jones was put in a really bad spot. That's fair. But, in his 3rd year, he's going to have to start to overcome it and start. Here's the other thing, man. And I'm not saying it's all Jones' fault. I'm not. Like I said, Jones put in a really bad spot. Really bad spot. But when you're coming up at the end of your rookie contract, Roldy, and he'll still have another year, plus the 5th year extension, but you have to start to think long and hard about making a move for the simple reason you're not going to extend the guy if he doesn't start to show glimpses of hope. And we'll see how the New York Giants handle it next year, whether or not they stick with the same scheme or they go with another one. That'll be a big question mark going into last season. When I stepped back and thought about it, Roldy, and everybody in the chat, and I saw that Jones was getting a lot of hate. I understand the people that are anti-Jones off the way that he's progressed this year. He has not taken the steps that a lot of us were hoping for going into the year. I completely understand that. But I thought Jones was getting way too much hate for this game. He went out there hurt. He shouldn't have been playing. I put that on Joe Judge, and I'm a Joe Judge supporter. I think Joe Judge made a really bad decision starting Daniel Jones in this game. After the fact, when I had time to think about it, you saw he was limping there on the last drive. And I don't mind him starting. He should have came out earlier. Jones did not give us the best chance to win that game, at least late in the game, as you started to see him limp and everything else. I cannot put the full blame or even most of the blame on that game on Daniel Jones. I just can't. The offensive line gave up 8 sacks. The special teams was horrible. It was a horrible team effort. We were out-coached. We were out-schemed. I thought Daniel Jones got a lot more blame for that game than he deserved. He didn't play well. He played bad. But I think there were a lot more factors. Crimson, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, we need to get rid of Garrett. The way he schemes routes don't work, and DJ doesn't fit the scheme. Do we want to change schemes for the 3rd time, though? That's the question. And you know what? Like I said in my video today, man, I am going to give power to Joe Judge. He's the head coach. He makes the big boy decisions. If Joe Judge feels that Jason Garrett's offense is not getting it done, and he feels that, whether it's somebody on the staff like Freddie Kitchens or, the quarterback coach, well, I don't know, Jerry Shaplinski, you go with that. Whether he feels like it's somebody from off the staff that he has connections to with New England, you go with that, whatever it may be. I'm going to leave that up to Judge, and I'm going to trust Judge in his judgment. No pun intended. G-Men Sports, man, thank you very much. Are non-mods able to help the stream and channel? I don't know what you mean by that, G-Men Sports. Non-mods could, only mods can post links. I don't know what you mean by that, though. And Big Bang, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. He says, still think he has the tools, but needs better weapons and scheme. 21, make it or break it. That's the way I'm looking at it, Big Bang, right now. And I'm not saying he's got to be a finished product in 21, but he's got to show a lot more than this. I mean, I have to be convinced that he could potentially be a top 10 quarterback in this league by the end of next year. Right now, if I'm being honest, I don't feel that way. And I think everybody should. I could understand, like you said, potential and seeing that he could be, but we got to see evidence. By his third year, you have to start to see evidence. I hope that the New York Giants put him in the best possible situation. I hope that they get him, I hope they put him in the right scheme. If they don't feel Garrett's the guy, that'll be on the coaching staff, and we'll see. Dylan, man, thank you very much. We will try and beat the Eagles for you all this week. Dylan, I hope so, man. You guys beat the hell out of us this week. Congratulations on the win. Arizona definitely put a beating on us in all three phases. Our special teams, that's another thing we got to talk about, guys. Our special teams in this game, it was horrible. Our special teams the last 3 weeks have been horrible. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. I didn't see anybody talk about it in the papers. I see very few people talking about it on Twitter. The special teams have been pathetic the last 3 weeks. That's supposed to be the strength of this football team. I mean, and I didn't even mention in my video today, I talked about the fumble. What about Jabril Peppers? And I love Jabril Peppers. What about Jabril Peppers on the punt returns going for fair catches at the 5-yard line? He did it like 3 times, or 6-yard line, 7-yard line. Special teams were really bad the last 3 weeks. Has to get much better, man. Has to get much better. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. And Raphael, man, thank you very much. Thoughts on the epic game that was a great game. That was a fantastic game. I didn't see the whole game. I bits and pieces. I watched the whole second half. Yeah, unbelievable finish. And those are our next 2 opponents. It will not be easy. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, both looked really good. Not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Baker Mayfield definitely looks like a much improved quarterback, and we'll see, man. Kristaps Porzingis, man, thank you very much. What's up, my man? You going Clemson? I don't know, K. I have no idea, KP. One day at a time. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. I'm not going to guarantee anything. Probably not, though. What's up, Isaiah, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's up, Lloyd, man? Thanks for popping in. Peppers, I thought the same thing. Let it go and hope again. Yeah, Lloyd, I'm watching other games. I forgot what other game I was watching, but I was like, that's what a good punt returner does. You know, you wave your hand and you run away from it. You hope it bounces into the end zone. You don't go for fair catch. He did it like 3 times. The special teams play was really bad this week. Obviously, the fumble by Dion Lewis was really bad. And that's supposed to be the strength of this team. They got to get much better in that area. We're not going to win very many games if the special teams continues to play the way they've been playing as of late. Let's see what we got here. Some of Pepper's fair catches were because there were gunners running straight to him to blow him up if he doesn't fair catch it. I'm not listen, Griffin. Here's my thing, man. I'm not saying all of them, but there was at least 2 where it was on like the 5-yard line. And I'm not trying to pick on Jabril Peppers. I love Jabril Peppers. He's just an example that I didn't bring up today. You don't go for a fair catch there. You take a shot that it bounces into the end zone. Darth Liquor, man, thank you very much, man. We should draft Mac Jones around 2 or 3. Listen, if we're going to draft a quarterback, which I don't want to do, honestly, I don't want to reach for a quarterback. You don't do it in the 2nd or 3rd round. You go for it. If you're going to do it, you go for it. Peter, man, thank you very much, man. I'm extremely apologetic, angry about DJ. Peter, man, listen, man, I understand why people are upset. I do. I think a lot of us expected more growth this year, and I think it's fair to be a little, let down in his play. I think that's fair, Pete. I really do. But in this game, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm not for the year, he's been bad. And you could point to several factors. You could point to Barkley went down. You could point to that he doesn't have great wide receivers. You could point to that people feel he doesn't fit Jason Garrett's scheme. But at the end of the day, he hasn't progressed. Period. End of story. He's regressed in certain areas. He's gotten a little bit better in other areas. But I understand the frustration. But in this particular game, I don't think he should have been out there. I think that he was banged up. I think the Giants did a bad job in terms of the coaching staff putting him out there, at least for the second half. I don't think he gave us the best chance to win. Later in that game, the guy could barely walk. Tudo, man, thank you very much, man. Great quarterbacks don't need big and expensive weapons to move the sticks, Tana. It's all about experience and competence. Listen, man, you're right. I'm not telling you he's a great quarterback. I'm not. I'm telling you he's young. I'm telling you he could get better. And I'm telling you that having help could only help him. I don't think we're moving on from him after 2 years. I could be. If we had the first pick, I would tell you we probably are. I don't think we're moving on from him after 2 years. That's just my opinion. And I think he showed some progress over the 4 weeks earlier. Is he where I need him to be? No, he's not close. He was learning not to turn over the football. Now he needs to learn how to win football games. But I don't think we're moving on. I really don't. I think he's going to be your quarterback in 2021. I'd be a little bit surprised if he wasn't, to be completely honest with you. And I do think he has potential. I don't think he has elite potential. I've always been consistent with that. You've never seen me come on here and say, oh, he's going to be this unbelievable quarterback. But I think with the right team around him, if he matures, which he's not done yet, he could be a good quarterback. But we'll see. Throw, man, thank you very much, man. I have a fun exercise for you. Rank the 7 starting offensive linemen we've had this season, 1 to 7. Throw, man, thank you very much. Ooh, that's a good question. All right, well, okay, let's go over the 7 real quick. You got Zeitler, Hernandez, Lemieux, Gates, Parrott, Thomas, and Fleming. Okay, I'll start from the bottom. Fleming's 7. Even though I'm gonna be fair to Fleming. Fleming's had some good individual games, but overall, I put Fleming at 7. I would probably put Parrott just because he hasn't played a ton at 6, even though he's looked good in the limited times he's been out there. I'd probably put Lemieux at 5, Lemieux at 5, or Hernandez at 5, maybe Lemieux at 4. They're interchangeable. They're really close to me. I'll put Thomas at 3, Gates at 2, and Zeitler at 1. I think that's how I'd have it right now. Zeitler's our most experienced and most consistent offensive lineman. I think I'd still have Zeitler at 1. Cairo, man, thank you very much, man. Other 3 lose Sunday and we win. Still not over yet. Cairo, it ain't over yet, man. It ain't over yet, Cairo. It's not going to be easy, though. It's not going to be easy to beat Cleveland. We might have to win out. We probably have to win out for us to make the playoffs. 7 wins, we have an opportunity. 8 wins, we probably get in. It's going to be very tough to get in with 7, though. We're going to need a little bit of help. So we'll see how it plays out this week, but obviously a must-win game this week against Cleveland. German, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, if we fire Garrett, who would be a good offensive coordinator? You could. I mean, I think Gates at 1 is fair. Gates has played well for the Giants since like the first 3, 4, 5 weeks. I like Gates. I like Gates a lot, actually. If we fire Garrett, who would be a good OC? Well, listen, I was talking to Clapback Sports. One guy they mentioned, actually, that I thought was a good suggestion was O'Shea. O'Shea was the OC for Miami with Flores last year. Obviously, we took a lot of their coaches. He's got connections to Judge with New England. If you're hiring from on the staff, I think that you're probably going with the 2 guys I mentioned earlier, whether it be Freddie Kitchens or whether it be obviously the quarterback coach Shaplinski. So I think those are some potential hires. Darth Laker, man, thank you very much. He says, I know it's the Eagles, but I love what they did with Hurts. They drafted him 2nd round, which I want the Giants to do, and waited for Wentz to play bad. Yeah, but the problem, here's Darth Laker. I understand what you're saying there, but here's the problem with the Eagles. And by the way, I was talking in my Discord about this today. Perfect fit for Carson Wentz right now. If you're a potential team that could land him, it's got to be the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts have a good offensive line. They've got Frank Reich, where Carson Wentz thrived. I could see that being a potential trade destination for the Eagles. You're probably not going to get much because of Carson Wentz's contract, but I think that'd be a good fit. But the problem that the Eagles have now, if you can't trade Carson Wentz, you just gave him that contract extension where you're paying him $36 million. But in terms of your philosophy, if we still have Jones on the rookie deal, you want to draft the 2nd-round quarterback, and if Jones doesn't work out, you put him in. I could understand that. I personally want to use this draft to try to shore up the rest of this football team. And then if it doesn't work out, then I attack the quarterback. That's my personal opinion. Dr. Demolition Man, thank you very much. He says, change your name, the entertainer talking crap. Dr. Demolition, I really appreciate that, buddy. Dr. Demolition, man. This guy never fails to troll. Anytime he comes into one of my streams, he never fails to troll, but I love him anyway. I combat hate with love. Dan, man, thank you very much. Facts is we aren't good enough to make mistakes. Need a sound game plan, commitment to the run game, and great special teams to win this week. Thoughts, Dan? 100%. That goes for almost any game. When you're playing, like I said today, when we played Cincinnati, we could get away with some mistakes. When you're going up against a team like the Browns, we have to play flawless. You can't turn the football over. You cannot be outcoached. This was the first week in a while where I could say definitively the New York Giants were thoroughly outcoached. Can't happen. For us to win games, we have to outcoach our opponent. We have to out-hustle our opponent. And we have to create mistakes on the other end. That's the only way we're beating the Cleveland Browns. We're not beating the Cleveland Browns by airing out the football. It's just not going to happen. We don't have the offense to stack up. A big part of the game is obviously going to be trying to stop that run. Will not be easy. You're talking about the best running attack in football. And the New York Giants, to be honest, the last couple of weeks haven't been great in that category. We'll see the game plan that the Giants come out with. Mayfield looked pretty good to me last night. I mean, he was making some throws. It's not going to be easy. Giants are going to have to win the time possession. They're going to have to be really good in the special teams, something they haven't been for a month. And we'll see. It is not an easy opponent. I know people hear the name Cleveland Browns. This is a good football team. This is a very good football team. Let's see what we got here. We need to shock the NFL world on Sunday night, run the ball, and stop the Browns running. Well, that's our only chance, Dax. That's our only chance, and it's not going to be easy. I'm not trying to get people's expectations up. It's not going to be an easy game to win. I just want them to go out there and put forth a really good effort and continue to grow, and maybe we get some bounces to go our way, but they're a good football team. Cleveland's a very good football team. Musa, man, thank you very much, man. What's up, man? Was wondering what your opinion was on trading for Garoppolo this offseason. I don't know his contract. I know when the 40 – first off, I'm probably going to say no to that. I've never been a huge fan of Garoppolo. I know a lot of people loved his mechanics. I remember people talking about that. Garoppolo went into a perfect situation. You're talking about maybe the best offensive play caller in football with Shanahan. We don't have that here. And I would sooner draft a quarterback if I'm going to make a change like that. If I'm trading for a quarterback, it's going to be a top-tier quarterback. I don't view Garoppolo in that light. I think Garoppolo benefited greatly from playing in the Shanahan offense. So I would say no on that. Personally, I would say no on that. What's going on, X-Man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. And Chris, man, thank you very much. When wide receivers don't get open, the O-line needs to buy the quarterback time. When the line can't do that, the quarterback gets sacked, plus bad hammy, got to relax. I agree, Chris. I agree. I'm not putting the blame on that game on DJ. I know a lot of people did. I thought it was unjustified, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not saying he played good. He didn't. But, I mean, we gave up 8 sacks. He was banged up. He was not himself. So, in that individual game, I agree. For the year, TJ hasn't been great. Cole, thank you very much, man. No more excuses. Daniel Jones freaking sucks. And there you go. There you go. And there's a lot of the fan base that feels that way. I'm not telling you he's great. I'm telling you that I think we're going to give him more time, and I hope he gets better. I hope he gets better, and I think he has shown flashes that he could be a good quarterback, but he's not a good quarterback yet. I'd be lying if I told you that. And anybody that thinks he's a good quarterback right now is lying to themselves. He has potential to be a good quarterback, but he's not there yet, and he's not that close yet. He's just not. We need to see a huge jump in year 3. And hopefully the New York Giants get the right scheme here if it's not Garrett, and hopefully we get him a top-tier wide receiver. But I'm not giving up on Jones yet. I'm not going to call him garbage. He's still my quarterback, but he's not good right now. I'll be the first to tell you that. He's got 8 touchdowns this year. He's not good right now. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Big Blue, today, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I appreciate it, man. But let's see. Eli wasn't good as first. You're right. Eli was definitely better in his second year than Jones is this year, though. If you're being fair, Eli won some games. He had some great drives to win some games. He had some comeback victories. And I think he had 24 touchdowns, 17 picks. He was still not that good of a quarterback yet, though. I agree with that. First year, he was horrible. Clocks, man, thank you very much. Dude, what turns you on with DJ other than he's mobile? He's so bad for a 6-pick, bro. Do you honestly feel he can win for us when we're down 20-6? Be truthful. Not right now, no. No, Clocks, I don't. Not right now. That doesn't mean he can't mature, but right now, no. I'll be the first to tell you. You watch my channel, Clocks. I was never in favor of that pick. I have never had the DJ pom-poms out. You've never seen me have the DJ pom-poms out. I want to give him a fair opportunity. I'm a Giants fan. I hope it works out. I have never once said DJ's better than this quarterback. I've never used the nickname Danny Dimes. He's never earned that from me. I hope he matures. I hope he gets better. I see potential. But I don't ever think he's going to be an elite quarterback. I never thought that. Ever. Never thought that. I think he could be a good quarterback if he fixes some things and they build a team around him. But the question is it worth sticking around? And we'll see. The other thing I don't want to do, Clocks, and I think you're in agreement with me on this, I don't want to force a quarterback pick. I don't want to do it. You force a quarterback pick and miss, it makes the situation that much worse. I'm hoping he matures, man. Musa, man, thank you very much, man. Opinion on drafting Mac Jones if we get a chance. I'm not a huge fan of Mac Jones. I know people are starting to bring him up. I'm not a huge fan of Mac Jones. Peter, man, thank you very much. Here's where I stand. There are quarterbacks that can play hurt and still look functional. DJ looked like a joke. If he chooses to go out there hurt, then play decently. Don't chat the bed, then say I'm hurt. I don't think to be fair, Pete, and he was hurt. I don't think he ever said he was hurt. I don't think he used that as an excuse. I could be wrong on that. If he did, I missed it. I don't think he ever said that. I could be wrong on that. I don't think he ever said that. But why is Tony Bichette saying coward? And Dags, man, I'm sorry if I deleted your message. Let's see what we got here. You're a coward. Why am I a coward? Why am I a coward? I don't get some fans. Sunday, what's going on? Thanks for popping in the stream. I don't get some fans. Why am I a coward? Why am I a coward? Because I don't have DJ pom-poms, or because I won't say he sucks? Why am I a coward? Because I have an opinion? That makes me a coward? Because you don't agree with my opinion? I don't get people. I honestly don't get people. You're not allowed to have an opinion in this world without being called a coward. Because you don't agree with my opinion, I'm a coward? Okay. Well, I got news for you. You're not going to agree with everybody's opinion in life. There's always going to be things you don't agree with, and because you don't agree with it, you call them a coward? Why am I a coward? Because I don't think Daniel Jones is the second coming of Jesus Christ? I'm a coward? Or because I'm not ready to give up on a quarterback 2 years in? Because that's my stance. How does that make me a coward? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Tudo, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, after all, Garoppolo has more experience and better understanding with Joe Judge and Patrick Graham-Tana. That's true. He does have experience with the quarterback coach. I didn't think about that. He does have more experience with the quarterback coach. I don't want Garoppolo. He makes a lot of money, and I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. I don't want Garoppolo. I really don't. And Zion, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. What's going on, Crips Shadow? What's going on, Marjorie? Thanks for popping in the stream. You're a football god, even though DJ's waterfly. And Zion says, Chris, you're the bomb. I have a good feeling about Sunday night. DJ is still playing trash, mature for what? He needs this. He needs that you the sixth pick, bro. I don't know if he's going to play this week. I don't know if he's going to play this week. I haven't heard much on the injury front for Daniel Jones. I don't know if he's going to play this week. We'll see. I don't think he's near 100%. If he plays, hopefully he goes out there and he puts forth a great effort, man. Silas, man, I don't get. Trust me, Silas. I get passionate. That's just the way I talk. I don't get offended by the trolls. I have an opinion, and if you disagree with my opinion, that's the thing I always try to do, man. If you disagree with my opinion, I'm always willing to listen. I'm always willing to listen. I have an opinion. I feel like I have good reasoning for a lot of my opinions. You're not always going to agree. It's impossible to agree with all my opinions. I just don't think we're in the place to draft a quarterback. I just don't. That's my honest opinion. And I think if we get the right pieces in here, it's possible Daniel Jones could turn into what we hope is a franchise quarterback. And I'm going to give him another year. That's just my opinion. And we'll see what the Giants decide to do. Peter, man, thank you very much. You know who's not a coward? Colt McCoy. He also has a way better lifetime completion percentage than you. Oh, Pete, that's true. That guy was spot on during that stream. 60% completion percentage. I could never do that, Pete. I'll be the first to tell you. Colt McCoy is much better than me at throwing a football. Steven, man, thank you very much. I told you Maris plan earlier. If you saw, I did, Steven. I don't remember off the top of my head. I did read your comment. I was so busy today. I did read your comment, and I thought you brought up a good point. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I will go back and look and respond to it after the stream. Paul, man, thank you very much. Keyboard tough guys, Chris, they're everywhere. Oh, I know. Everybody wants to call you a coward when you don't say what they want you to say. Crispy, man, thank you very much. Fire Jason Garrett. Jones' strength is the deep ball. See, that's where I'm going to disagree. And I know that, and I'm not saying he doesn't throw an accurate deep ball. I know he does. And Zion, man, thank you very much. I have a good feeling because he's not playing. Yeah, we'll see, man. Bobby, man, thank you very much. Hi, CEO. Oh, wow. Bobby, I'm not having guests on today, but Saturday I'll have you on. I'm not having guests on today. But I'm sorry to hear that, man. Bobby, I'm sorry to hear that. Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that. But now I lost my train of thought. Forgot what I was going to say. Somebody said, the deep ball. I know, like, the stat that everybody that says that Daniel Jones throws a great deep ball, they point to the PFF stat. But if you look at that stat, I personally think it's a nitpick, cherry-picking stat. I'm going to tell you why. Take a look at who was second just a week ago. It was Drew Brees. Since then, I think it's changed. Drew Brees was second. We all know Drew Brees doesn't throw a good deep ball. The reason, in my opinion, that Daniel Jones is as high on that list as he is because he only had 24 attempts. He didn't have a lot of attempts. I'm not telling you he doesn't throw an accurate deep ball, but I don't know if that's his strength. I need to see more. I don't think he has great arm strength. I really don't. I think he has solid arm strength. I don't think he has unbelievable arm strength. Steve, man, thank you very much. DJ is a stopgap until the young Manning. I would love the young Manning. You know I'm a huge Eli Manning fan. Let's see what we got. And Chris, man, thank you very much. I love your stuff. Not a coward, just level-headed. Chris, man, I try to give you guys my opinion. I don't try to be a coward. If anybody feels I'm a coward, I'm sorry. I never ship my opinion. I say what I feel. You're not always going to agree with it. I don't try to be a coward. I try to give you guys my honest opinion. And this week, and I don't know what that was in reference to be completely honest. I don't know if he was a DJ fan or a DJ hater. But this week, I didn't think it was fair to bash Daniel Jones. I honestly didn't. And I will give you guys my honest opinion week in and week out. I don't think this was the week. The Bucs week was the week to come out and say Daniel Jones is the worst. Daniel Jones is the worst. And if you had that opinion all year, I respect it. But I don't think this was the week to go get overly critical about Daniel Jones. I just didn't. I thought the offensive line blocked horribly. I thought they came out with a horrible game plan, and Daniel Jones was hurt. That's my honest opinion. We couldn't block. We got away from the run. J.C. Garrett was bad. The offensive game plan was bad. Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. A franchise quarterback shouldn't have 9 TDs all year. He's not a franchise quarterback. He's not close to a franchise quarterback right now. He's just not. He could be, but he's not right now. Pete, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. Chris, does it give you pause when a good amount of rookie quarterbacks come on almost immediately, but DJ seems to be crawling at a snail's pace? Yeah, like I just said, Bad Dog. If it's about the season, I understand. This week, I disagree. I didn't put this loss on him. This week, I didn't put the loss on him. For the season, I understand the criticism. I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I do. I think it's fair. I think it's fair to definitely question about whether or not he's the quarterback of the future. Does it give you pause when a good amount of rookie quarterbacks come in? Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people look at guys like Justin Herbert. They look at guys like Kyler Murray, and they say, why can't Jones do this? But let's be fair. Daniel Jones was never that type of quarterback. He just wasn't. He was never on that level. And anybody who thought he was on that level was lying to themselves. I'm not saying he can't be good. He could be. He could be very good. He could be. I'm not saying he can't be. He was never on the level of an elite talent coming into the pros. John, man, thank you very much, man. Blame the O-line all you want. He had 3 fumbles. That's true. First fumble, I'm not going to put on him, though, John. First fumble, I'm not going to put on him. The second 2, yeah, he did a bad job securing the football. Zion, man, thank you very much, man. Just want to support your grind. Going to head out. Would love to come on, talk ball. You have a good one. Night, bro. Absolutely, Zion, man. Thank you so much for being here, man. Maybe Saturday I'll have you on. We'll talk football, man. Let's see what we got here. Lax, man, thank you very much. I think people are so obsessed with the idea of franchise quarterback. If Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, and Joe Flacco can win a Super Bowl, Jones can. He could. He could. If we get the right pieces around him, he could. If we fix the defense, we get the right pieces around him, maybe he could. You're talking about some of the greatest defenses in the history of football, though. I mean, 2000 Ravens had the greatest defense ever, probably, if not the 85 Bears. Brad Johnson was on the Bucs. That's probably one of the top 5 defenses in my lifetime. And Joe Flacco was actually I'm going to tell you something about Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in football. Not now, but I don't think people remember how good Joe Flacco was in the playoffs. He had 2 consecutive playoff runs where he was kind of like Eli Jr. I think he's got 6 career road playoff wins. I think he has more than Eli does. Joe Flacco's a pretty good quarterback. He's not quite Eli, but he's a pretty good quarterback. What's going on, Davey, man? Thanks for popping the stream. Elu, man, thank you very much. Hey, Chris, I love your content. Our offensive line didn't do us any favors, but DJ needs to go through his progressions. His deep balls are insanely beautiful most of the time. Would love to talk sometime. Listen, I think he throws a pretty deep ball. I do. I think he's accurate on the deep ball. I will agree on that for the most part. I still question his arm strength a little bit in terms of being, above average. I think he throws an accurate deep ball. I think that's fair to say. I think there's some strengths to his game, but I'm not sold on him. Let's put it that way. What's going on, Authentic? I'm not saying that I can't be sold on him, though. I'll also say that. I go back to Josh Allen, who I mentioned in my video today. Josh Allen, and he doesn't have Josh Allen's talent. He doesn't. So I'm not telling you he's going to be Josh Allen. But Josh Allen going into this year, a lot of people said we're bust. They said he could never be a great quarterback. He's playing at MVP level. And they brought in Stephon Diggs. They improved the offensive line around him. Let's see what happens next year if they bring Daniel Jones back. I'm not going to quit on my quarterback. As long as Daniel Jones is wearing the uniform, I'm not going to quit on him. And I know that there's reasoning as to why he may not be playing as good as he possibly can. But I'm not sold on him. I'm not close to being sold on him. Shavant, man, thank you very much. DJ is like RJ, needs room for improvement. Definitely needs a lot of room for improvement, man. Gavin, man, thank you very much, man. He says the Giants need Jalen Hurts. James is now going to be blocked on the channel. Jalen Hurts, you're blocked. You're a big Jalen Hurts guy all of a sudden, Gavin. You're completely and that's exactly what Bad Dog said was going to happen. People were gonna come on and they were gonna go crazy about the Eagles once Jalen Hurts played, and everybody was gonna give up on Carson Wentz. Listen, guys, if people are gonna come on here, I do this for fun. I do this to share my opinion. If people are gonna come on here and call me a coward for sharing my opinion, I just won't go live anymore, and you'll be blocked. I come on here for fun. I come on here to talk about my football team. I come on here to share my opinion. You're gonna call me a coward because you disagree with what I have to say? Okay. What's going on there, Ordinary Pete, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. There's a sharing your opinion, facing. Yeah, it is what it is, man. What's going on, Seb, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on, German Brothers, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. What's going on there, Chris, man? Thanks for popping in. What's going on, Nona, man? Thanks for popping in. Hey, KC Smooth, it is what it is, man. There's people that just want to hear what they want to hear. You learn that when you're on YouTube. If you don't say exactly what they want to hear, they thumbs down your video. They call you a coward. Sorry. And what's going on there, Jack, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on there, Division, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on, Mike, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. What's going on, Michael? Where's my intro vid? Where's my intro vid? All right, here we go. What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Roldy says difference between Allen and Jones is that you saw a major jump from Allen year 1 to year 2 without Diggs, and you see regression from Roldy. That's fair. I don't know Allen's complete situation. I don't know if he had a new scheme in year 2. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. That I don't know. He started off really bad year 2. I remember doing a video on this because I was a big Josh Allen believer going into the year. He started out really bad year 2. He only threw 2 picks over his last 11 games. So, yes, he definitely showed signs of growth in year 2. I agree with that. 2012 comp, man. You yellow bellow sap sucker. Just kidding. 2 garbage defenses played last night. Not going to happen the next 2 weeks. Go Big Blue. Tana in 2024. I would love to run for president. You'd vote for me, 2020 comp, man? Peter, man, thank you very much. It worries me that DJ can either buy time in the pocket and deliver a pretty deep ball or run for a big gain, but he can't seem to run around and then also deliver an accurate bomb like so many can. Yeah, listen, man. There's reasons for. He's not a perfect prospect. He's not even close right now. I'd be lying. I can't come on here and lie and say what people want me to say. He's not. He's got a lot of growing up to do. There's no doubt about it. And some of it has to do with the wide receivers, though, for being fair. He doesn't have great wide receivers. John, man, thank you very much. DJ has 10 career games with multiple turnovers, most in the NFL since the start of last season. He has multiple turnovers in 10 of his last 16 games. DJ now has 20 fumbles in his first 16 career games. He's been a turnover machine. Daniel, man, what's going on, man? Thank you for popping in the stream, man. He's been a turnover machine. I'm not going to tell you he hasn't been. Like I said, reasons for optimism was he was getting better in that over the last 3 games. He played hurt this week. We didn't block well this week. But, yeah, overall, yeah, he's been a turnover machine. Tudo, man, thank you very much. This is Giants Nation Fans Channel, and whoever doesn't like it or agree with Tana's opinion, he or she shouldn't be here. Well, no, I completely welcome anybody that disagrees with my opinion, as long as it's in a respectable manner. I completely welcome it, Tudo. Absolutely. I don't want everybody to agree with my opinion. Giants are the best NFL team. And Manuel, man, thank you very much, man. He says, I mentioned this today earlier. I want to build a great D first by picking cornerback, edge first 2 rounds, then wide receiver in the third. This way we build an elite D first and then concentrate on the O based on the 2021 results. Manuel, again, it's what I always say when people bring up draft questions. It's going to depend where we're picking. It's going to depend on where we're picking, who the best available player is, where we're picking. But I agree in terms of the positions. I think that's what we need. I think we need a corner. I think we need somebody that can get after the quarterback at the edge position. I definitely think we need a coverage linebacker, and we definitely need a wide receiver. Like, that is abundantly clear. We need a top-tier wide receiver. That is abundantly clear. And, before we even start thinking draft, we have to see what they're going to do in free agency. We're going to have to see what players they bring back. I'm starting to lean more and more on the train of, if we're sticking with DJ, which I think we are, getting him a wide receiver. We need to do everything we can to get him a wide receiver. And again, it depends on where we're picking. It depends on where we have the players ranked. But I think in the first 2 rounds, you're going to have to go wide receiver. I think we need to get him a legitimate threat. Because right now, Darius Slayton is not a number 1. He's not even close. Steven, man, thank you very much. I don't agree with Chris. Get that face on radio. Steven, man, what's going on, man? Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Let's see what we got. Rolly, man, thank you very much. I just skipped over by accident. Roldy says, whoever called you a coward is a punk. Hey, it is Roldy. It is what it is. It is what it is. And then you get the trolls that'll keep saying, I'll just keep blocking them. Clocks, man, thank you very much, man. Bro, am I wrong that I dislike DJ's talent because he's 6th overall? But if he was a 4th rounder, I'd be fine. I'm so confused. I don't think you're wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, down the line, it really doesn't matter where you're drafted. Obviously, in terms of expectations, it does, and money, it does. But if you're not good in 2-3 years in, if you were a 4th round pick or 1st round pick, to me, it's just, you can't play, you can't play. But obviously, I don't think you're wrong in having more expectations. He's getting paid more. He was drafted earlier. When you're a 1st round quarterback, of course, you're going to have higher expectations than if you were drafted in the 4th round. So in terms of expectations, no, I don't think that you're wrong for being more critical, at least early on in a player's career, of somebody that was drafted in the 1st round. No, I don't think you're wrong for that. Lax, man, thank you very much. I don't really like talking wide receivers in the 1st round, but I would make an exception for Chase, Waddle, or Devontae Smith. I'm not a huge wide receiver guy in the 1st round either, Lax, to be completely honest with you. I'm not a huge wide receiver guy in the 1st round either historically, but it is a big need for this team right now. It is a big need. It's one of our it's our top 2 biggest need, in my opinion. It's a big need, but it's not the most important position in terms of need. So it's gonna depend on the players that are there. It's gonna depend on whether or not Gettleman's back. A lot of people say that Gettleman is not open to drafting a wide receiver. That's not the case. You go back, look at Carolina. He drafted Kelvin Benjamin in the 1st round. He drafted, I think it was Funchess in the 1st round. He drafted 2 wide receivers in the 1st round. It's definitely possible he could. And we'll know more as the season progresses. Ryan, man, thank you very much, man. This team needs a nice and relaxing Hudson fishing trip. Yeah, I'm going to try to reel one in for you right now, Ryan. See, the thing is, this fan base, Ryan, is the most divided fan base I've ever seen, ever, of the 3 teams that I root for. It's not even close. You go to the Knicks, everybody's on the same page. We suck. We need to rebuild. We need to draft well. We need to bring these young players up right. For the most part, everybody's on the same page. You go to the Mets, it's kind of the same thing. You go here, everybody has a different opinion, and if you don't agree with it, you're an asshole. Like that's where the New York Giants are right now. They're so divided on the direction of this football team. And I appreciate that, Robert, man. Thank you very much, man. Thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. To be honest, Odell needs the Giants as much as the Giants need him. We don't need Odell, to be honest with you, at this point in time. Odell's not the same player. He's had 3 injuries. We don't need Odell anymore. Let's see what we got here. The Giants were in talks with Detroit for Golladay, so I'm learning. Here's the thing, JP, and I would love Kenny Golladay. I think Kenny Golladay is probably the best fit for the Giants in terms of free agent wide receivers. If not him, Allen Robinson. But Kenny Golladay has had injury history. This year he's been banged up a little bit, but I do like Kenny Golladay. I think it's the exact type of wide receiver we need. I don't think we're gonna have the cap space for it because I think we're gonna try to retain our. I think we're gonna have to retain our wide receiver, our players on our team rather than the wide receivers. German brother, man, thank you very much. If we go wide receiver 1 in free agency, would you go wide receiver 2/3 in the draft? So if we sign a guy like Allen Robinson, would I still? Yes, I would still draft a wide receiver. Not in the first round. Not in the first round. Probably not in the first 2 rounds. But yes, I would still draft a wide receiver at some point in the draft. Golden Tate's getting up there in age. Sterling Shepard, you don't know what you have going forward. He's banged up all the time. You don't know what you have going forward there. And Darius Slayton is still a question mark. I like him. I think he's going to be a good wide receiver. But yes, I would still continue to try to hit home with young wide receivers. There is no way Chris is a coward. He works for me. Listen, man. You know what being a coward is, Bad Dog? You want to know what being a coward is, Bad Dog? I'm going to tell you what being a coward is for the people that say coward. Folding to the masses. Saying what you know people want you to say. That's being a coward. I don't do that. That's a coward. That's being a coward. What's going on there, Sugar Tits, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. Gavin says, Chris, I disagree with you, so you must be a coward. Exactly, Gavin, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see what we got here. Chris, only the what did he say? I missed what Ms. Roddy said there. Chris, only the great are hated. Get me? Hate is really jealousy. Jealousy is a bitch. Giants D comes big and nasty Sunday night. Ms. Roddy, man, I sure hope so, man. I think the defense is going to put forth a really good effort this week. I really do. I think they're going to come with a good game plan. I worry about the run game, but I don't think Mayfield's going to be able to throw all over the field on us. I'm not too worried about that. If we can establish a run, I think we'll keep it close. I'm probably not going to pick us, if I'm going to be honest and unbiased, but I think we could keep it close. I think we could give them a good game. Let's see what we got here. Chris thinks DJ isn't playing good. What a cow. Yeah, Aaron, it is what it is, man. I don't even know why people say it. Thurl Collins, man, I appreciate that, man. Thurl Collins is the man, dude. Dave Gettleman. Red Rich, man, thank you very much, man. This offense is designed to limit Jones' turnovers, but it is handcuffed in the process. You can make that argument. Here's what I'm going to say, kind of like what I said today, though. I think the Giants' best strategy coming into the year was to run the ball as much as they possibly could to limit the turnovers, because we're not a team that can commit turnovers. We're not a team that's built to be able to get into shootouts. We're just not. So that's why I stick up for Garrett sometimes, even though I'm not saying he's a perfect GM. He made a lot of questionable decisions, because I always put myself in his shoes or anybody's shoes when I'm talking about them. And if I was the offensive coordinator coming into the year, I would have gone with a very run-heavy approach coming into the year. I think that the New York Giants, the way that the team was built, that was our best opportunity to win football games. Now, in terms of his passing concepts, I get the criticisms. I do. He's not the first down play call at the own 8-yard line. That was a horrible call. I saw Bobby posted on Twitter. It was a horrible call. I mean, it was all 3-yard out curl patterns. Bad Dog said it during the stream. It was a horrible call. And then on the 3rd and 1 play, where they threw the 50-50 ball down the right sideline, here's the one thing I'll say about that. You had a crossing pattern there that was for 2 or 3 yards that may have been the primary read, and maybe Jones took it upon himself to throw that 50-50 ball. We'll never know. But regardless, I would have ran it there on 3rd and 1. So I understand the criticisms. What do you think is more important, a great offense or a great defense? I am always a defensive-minded guy, but modern-day NFL would tell you, if you look at the numbers, you need both. You need a balanced football team. There's no doubt about it. A lot of people would tell you offense is more important in today's NFL, but I think you need both. I think you definitely need both. And I'm always going to be a defensive guy. I think defense could still win championships. I definitely think that's the case, but it's definitely more of an offensive league than it's ever been. Dave Gettleman, man, thank you very much. Didn't I tell you how crazy I am after 3 years? Took a running back at 2, took a subpar quarterback at 6. My teams are far below 500. I did inside job for the Eagles, by the way. Dave Gettleman, man, thank you so much, man, for popping in the stream. Dave, I really appreciate that. God almighty. Score prediction versus the Browns. I'll wait till the end of the week. I got to see the injury report and everything else. I don't even know if Daniel Jones is playing right now. Dan Hosser, man, thank you very much, man. He says the defense is meant to get sacks through coverage and disguise. Would you say cornerback is a bigger need than edge rusher with that in mind? Dan, yes. Now, Yadam has played fairly effectively the last month, but I've been on record. I've said it consistently. I think this defense's biggest need right now is a good cornerback, another cornerback opposite James Bradberry. I think this defense, it schemes pressure. And I'm not saying we don't need an edge rusher. I'm not saying we don't need a coverage linebacker, but I think this defense could be a lot more aggressive if they could trust that second cornerback. And we need youth there. I mean, James Bradberry is 27, 28. You don't know if he's going to regress, kind of like Janoris Jenkins did after his first year. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I like James Bradberry a lot. But, yeah, I think we do need some youth at the exterior corner position. Let's see what we got here. If he had a defense like the Redskins, you might be in first place. I think we have a good defense. Washington has a good defense as well, but I think we have a good defense. That's definitely the strength of our team. Chris, we love you. Don't let anyone tell. Hey, Kalen, it is what it is. There's some people. There's always gonna be jerks, and they'll just get blocked. But I don't understand the coward stuff because I don't agree, because I'm not bashing Jones as much as you'd like, or I'm not praising Jones as much as you like. Go. I don't care. Derek, man, thank you very much. Why do you think we strayed away from the run against the Cards? Not really sure what the thinking was behind it. Derek, I'm going to be completely honest with you, Derek. I don't understand with Jones being banged up. I don't understand why they didn't come out with a more run-heavy approach. I really don't. I don't understand why they didn't come out with a more run-heavy approach. Now, to be fair, around halftime, it was pretty balanced. I think they had 9 carries to 11 passing attempts. We should have run the ball more than we were with a banged-up quarterback. JMG says, what's up, Chris? If the Giants had the first pick, would you draft? That's a tough one, JMG. That's a tough one. I probably would. Trevor Lawrence is like, you're talking about, you don't pass up on prospects like that. You don't pass up on prospects like that. But we don't have that problem. And I knew we were never going to have that problem. We're not even close to the worst team in football. Mike, man, thank you very much. Jones deserves another 3 to 4 years at least. Come on. That I will not say, Mike. That I will not say. I'm giving Jones one more year. And if he's not a borderline top 10 quarterback by next year, if I don't feel like he could legitimately be one by the end of his rookie contract, I'm ready to move on. Period. I'm ready to move on. Kyle, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, I don't think we blitzed at all last week. We have to blitz. And I'll read the rest of this first. I don't understand how the game planned perfectly against the Seahawks, then come out embarrassingly flat against the DC Cars team. Kyle, here's what I'll say about the defense, man. They did a good job in the red zone. That was Arizona's biggest strength coming into the game. They had the number 1 red zone offense in football. Did a really good job there. Where the Giants defense failed in this game, you're right, we weren't aggressive enough. The defensive line, and they played fantastic against the Seahawks. You want to talk about, Leonard Williams was otherworldly against the Seahawks, okay? They created no pressure. The interior defensive line created no pressure in this game. We got completely beat up at the point of attack. We just got manhandled up in the trenches. The defensive line definitely played both lines played bad, offensive and defensive line. I thought we were going to manhandle them in both those categories. Sox Arizona, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, enough offseason talk. We're in the middle of a playoff race, on to Cleveland. Love it, Sox. Listen, man, one game at a time, man. And, we'll see how we do. And like I said, the good thing is we're going to know going in where we stand. And let's hope we can find a way to get a W. I mean, it's not going to be an easy game. It's why I labeled the Arizona game as a must-win. But if we beat Cleveland, it erases that loss, because I didn't think we were beating Cleveland. I also didn't think we were beating Seattle. So anything could happen. That's why they play the games, man. That's why they play the games. Clocks, man, thank you very much. Bro, I know you weren't born, but do you realize how the 1980s offense we are trying to copy, smash mouth run, does that exist in today's NFL? You need the right team. You need the right team to be able to copy that. You need the right team to be able to do that. I think it could. The question is this, Clocks. I think it could work for individual seasons. I don't know if it could work long-term. As a matter of fact, I would say it's harder to work long-term. Conventional wisdom would tell you get that number 1 quarterback that I still always like an offense that could run. You still always want to be able to run to set up the pass. But if you could get that franchise quarterback, which hopefully Jones is, you need a guy that could go out there and win football games for you. Period. End of story. It's not the same thing as the 80s. Are there circumstances where it works? Yes, but it's very hard to keep a defense intact. It is very hard. You're talking about 11 positions in the free agency world. It is very hard to keep a defense intact in a year in, year out basis. Are there individual years where you could win a Super Bowl that way? Yes, but to have sustained success you need to be able to air out the football. You need to be able to throw the football. And right now, we don't have the team equipped to do that. We need to grow into that, but right now we don't have the team equipped to do that. Mike, man, thank you very much. Chris, Jones is already top 12. Stop the cap, bro. Mike, I am not saying that. Not even close to top 12 right now, Mike. Not even close to top 12 right now. Jay, man, thanks for popping in the stream, man. Goat World says, Chris, do you think Bateman, a lot of people like Bateman. A lot of people are getting very high on Bateman. We'll see. We'll see. You're blocked. Let's see. Hey, Chris, how do you feel about Sam Darnold? Would you pick him up if DJ was out? No, I don't want Sam Darnold. To me, it doesn't make much sense. I've talked about the backup quarterback that I would think about bringing in. If we're going to bring in a backup quarterback, and I'm talking about a backup, I'm not talking about a starter. If we're going to bring in a backup quarterback, I think Jacoby Brissett makes way too much sense. Jacoby Brissett's played with Chiplinski before. He's played with Judge. You trust him more than you would trust a guy like Colt McCoy. He started 15 games, I think it was just last year, with the Colts after Andrew Luck retired. I think Brissett makes a lot of sense for a backup quarterback. Laxman, thank you very much. I don't like Garrett because I think he tries to get too cute with his play calling. We should have been running it down everybody's throats, and he decided to abandon the run game for 2-yard stick routes. Lax, I like what Garrett did the 4 prior weeks where we're running the hell out of the football. I'm not even talking about the passing concepts, but in terms of overall offensive philosophy, I like the run first approach because I think it plays to the strengths of this team. Last week, I don't think we ran it enough. I think we got away from that, and the play calling was bad. Play calling was very bad in this football game. I cannot defend Jason Garrett in this football game. So I agree with that. There are times where I feel like he calls a pretty good game, and there are times where I feel like he doesn't. I think this was one of his worst called games. Early on in the season, I couldn't kill Garrett because of the deficiencies of this offense. We couldn't block. You couldn't hold blocks to be able to throw the football down the field. We couldn't set up the run. But since this offensive line has progressed, and to be fair, the offensive line was really bad in this game. Some of that may have had to do with the play calling. It was a really bad. It was a really poorly called game by the New York Giants. If we lose out, Gettleman and Jones are gone. I don't know, Magnum. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. Do I think it's possible? Sure. Anything's possible. What's up there, Vance, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see what we got here. Rosen has never had a chance placed on a Cardinals team that was the worst in football. His talent is fantastic. I worry about it. I'm not a Rosen guy. I guess Bad Dog's on the Rosen train. I didn't know that. I am not a Rosen guy. I've never been a Rosen guy. I was open to bringing him in here before we drafted Daniel Jones because I thought you could have got him for so cheap. I'm not a big Rosen guy. I think I agree at arm talent coming out. I've never been a big Rosen guy. G-Man Rising, man, thank you very much. Garrett wasn't good last week, but people calling for his job who love Jones. Do you realize Jason Garrett leaving is basically sealing Jones's fate? 3 OCs in 3 years. G-Man Rising, I kind of agree with you. I've been very outspoken in saying that I think Garrett is almost tied to Jones. And here's what I'm going to say, G-Man. Here's what I'm going to say. For the part of and it's a large portion of the fan base now, and I understand it. He definitely fit the Shermer scheme better. I'll be the first to tell you that. But for the people saying we need to make an offensive coordinator change, if you get your way and that happens, there's no excuses next year. You can't turn and say, oh, it's 3 schemes in 3 years. You can't keep playing that game. You can't keep doing that. So now you have to ask yourself, is it better to stick with what you've got and hope he progresses off of it? Because in today's modern day NFL, like I said earlier, you have to make that decision by the end of year 3, more often than not. You have to. A rookie contract is only so long. You can't keep playing with it and hoping that the guy gets better, knowing that you're going to have to tie up 12 to 15% of your cap. You can't do it. It's why I like continuity, especially with a quarterback. And if they go with a third offensive play caller in 3 years, you better hope Dan Jones is a damn quick learner. And you better hope that he grasps that offense really quick. I think it's a big risk, to be honest with you. That's my opinion. It's why I've been pretty outspoken into keeping Garrett, but it is what it is. I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do whatever the coaching staff thinks is best. I'm going to do whatever I think the coaching staff thinks is best. I'm going to trust Joe Judge. Tana, I think that the field position is really underrated. I think he completely got destroyed in the field position game versus the Cards. We did. They started at the 47-yard line. I remember seeing the stat, I think it was in the first half. Their average starting field position was at the 47-yard line. Our special teams was horrible. We had bad turnovers. Yeah, we got destroyed in the field position in this game. Like I said earlier, the Peppers fair catches inside the 6 or 7-yard line were really bad as well. We got killed in the starting field position in this game. And that is something that I expected us to be much better at. I mean, if you look at the Cardinals, they have one of the worst starting field positions in the league on average. I thought we'd be better in that category. We weren't. Kyle, man, thank you very much, man. I won't be over this loss until tomorrow night around 8. I still can't get over the call on 3rd and 130. Yeah, Kyle, like I said earlier, I just watch the games like you. And the only thing that makes sense to me there, Kyle, and I'm with you, man. That's why I didn't go live yesterday. It's why I didn't make a video yesterday. It's why I really wasn't on Twitter yesterday. I tweeted twice. Normally I tweet a lot more than that. It took me a while to get over it because I don't like being negative. I don't like taking. It was a really tough day, so I'm with you on that. But as far as that call, the only thing that logically makes sense to me, Kyle, was that the primary target on that play, if you go back and look at it, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Caden Smith, but maybe I'm wrong. There was a crossing pattern, about a 2 or 3 yard crossing pattern that was a more high percentage play. And it looked like, and I got to go back and look at it more because I was so frustrated. I didn't want to keep looking at the film. It looked like there was separation there. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, that was the primary read on that play. And Jones took it up on himself to throw the 50-50 ball. Because if that was Garrett's primary target on that play, he's an idiot. I just think Jones must have thought he had a mismatch and was taking a shot down the field. In that situation, I run the football. I don't even give Jones the power to make a decision like that. I run the football, but I have to think it was a higher percentage target on that, was supposed to be the primary target on that play because it made no sense. If you're at the 50-yard line, that's fine. You throw the 50-50 ball, and if you don't get it, you go for it on 4th down. But on your own 15-yard line, you can't do that. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. Let's see what we got here. Darnold is better than Eli Manning. Oh, God, Gavin, you son of a bitch, Gavin. Gavin, I love you, buddy, but you son of a bitch. G-Man Rising, man, thank you very much. Chris, RJ's jump shot this year looks beautiful. RJ looked great in the second preseason game. I didn't get a chance to watch the third preseason game tonight. I'm going to watch it back. I usually tape them. Looked great in the second preseason. I'm a big RJ fan. I don't know if you know this, G-Man Rising. I collect a lot of sports cards. I have collected a ton of RJ Barrett's. I think he's going to have a big year this year. I'm a big fan. If he gets that jump shot down, he's going to be near unstoppable. He's great in the paint. He does great at creating contact. I'm looking forward to calling Knicks games. I'm a huge Knicks fan. I'm just so busy with the football season. Dominic, man, thank you very much. Your channel is great therapy for me when we lose. Well, hopefully it's great therapy for when we win, too. But I know a lot of people like to come to me because I try to look at the brighter side of things. Kyle, man, thank you very much, man. Gallman has 9 yards. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. Listen, to me, it was obvious what you got to do there. You run the football. But if you were going to throw, you go for a higher percentage throw than what you did. And this is just me guessing. I have to think the primary read on that play was the crossing pattern and not the 50-50 ball down the right sideline. I have to think that. Rudy, man, thank you very much, man. And by the way, Rudy, I don't know if you were here earlier. I am going to be live tomorrow for the member stream. I just could not. I couldn't go live yesterday. And I wanted to go live to talk about the loss of Giants fans today. But I'm going to do the member stream tomorrow. And I'm going to get you a winter hat. I don't know if you want that. I know you already got it fitted out for me. I'm going to get you a winter hat if you want that. A beanie or whatever, but it's up to you. But I just want to get you something different. But he says, Chris, what do you do when your clients' husbands become members of your YouTube? Does it get weird? Hashtag jiggle of life ain't easy. By the way, DJ is my quarterback till the end. Listen, man, as long as DJ is wearing a New York Giants uniform and he's the starting quarterback, I'm going to support him. I'm with you on that. Kyle, man, thank you very much. Thanks for letting me vent, Tanner. You got Patrick. Trust me, man. I come on here to vent myself. I come on here to get therapy and talk to you guys. I mean, just as much as you guys come on here to talk to me to vent, I come on here to talk to you guys, give my opinion and get your guys' opinion and talk Giants football to get things off my mind. I was a mess yesterday. I really was. It hit me, man. And Mike, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. He says, do Joe Judge and Aaron Judge ever get together for tea? Mike, no, but the New York Giants and the San Francisco Giants do have a picnic. I think it's in Piscataway. That does happen, Mike. Every, I think it was Labor Day weekend, Mike. That does happen. Let's see what we got. Let's see. If the Giants were smart, they would trade Barkley. You're not getting anything for Barkley right now. He's banged up. In my opinion, Gabe. I don't think you would get near enough. Let's see. I hated the play calling Sunday. I missed it, but by Luann. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. The play calling was definitely questionable. It was definitely suspect for sure, Luann. Jesse Galloway says, I respect you, Chris, and Bad Dog. My differences of opinion isn't disrespect, my friend. Well, Jesse, that's the way I look at it, man. Back after this, what's going on, Anthony, man? As long as I'm always – some guys will never respect people's opinions if they completely disagree. That's not me. I'm going to respect everybody's opinion. When I'm strongly against something, I'm going to be passionate in talking about it, but I'm always going to respect people's opinions. What's going on there, Joe, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Great having you to give real Giants fans a sense of loyalty and fandom. Raphael, man, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. What's up there, Shockey Productions, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Chris, my friend Howard sent me here. Oh God, that's the meme in the Discord. And Connor, thank you very much. We need to run the Lemieux and Penny backfield more. I like when they use Lemieux as that fullback. They didn't do it at all in this game. They do it every now and again. And I don't think Penny was out there much at all. I mean, I didn't look at the snap counts. I don't think Penny was out there much at all. We didn't use a lot of fullback in this game, Connor. We didn't run the ball enough. I mean, we just didn't. We should have run the ball a lot more than we did, especially with the limitations to Daniel Jones. Lake notices Chris's laugh better than your laugh. I agree with that. I think I have a fantastic laugh. Andy Garcia, Josh Allen. Oh, we were talking about, I don't know if you were in there, Andy, before in the Discord. We were talking about this. Josh Allen is the top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. I'm going to pat myself on the back, Andy. And you know it. You're in my Discord. I'm going to pat myself on the back right now. Andy, which quarterback did I say was going to have the breakout season this year in the NFL? Josh Allen. Josh Allen right now is a top 5 quarterback. He's definitely playing like it. He's been phenomenal. For the people saying Garrett deserves no blame because he can only do so much with the players that he has, Shermer had the same exact players last year, and the offense was fine, so no excuses. For the people saying that Garrett deserves no blame because he could only do so much with the players that he has. Oh, I definitely think he deserves some blame. I definitely think he deserves some blame. Do you think the Giants are going to win the game this week and put up more than 7 points? I think they'll put up more than 7 points. If I'm being honest, probably not. I mean, the Cleveland Browns are a really good football team. If I'm being completely honest with you, probably not. I'm probably picking Cleveland. I think we're going to put forth a good effort. And I hope I'm wrong. I was wrong against Seattle. Hopefully I'm wrong again. But I think we'll definitely put up more than 7 points. Steven, I'm tired of all the Giants fans being hypocrites about saying Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback, and then he has a bad game, and then he's not a franchise quarterback. Yeah, I've never said either one. I'm not ready to commit that he is a franchise quarterback or that he's not a franchise quarterback. But it's not trending in the right direction. Christopher, man, thank you very much. Cleveland stinks on the road. We'll see. They've looked a lot better as of late. We'll see, man. Durant says it's amazing how 1 week changes everything. That's the NFL, man. That's the nature of the beast. And I am not falling off what I've said that I'm not falling off of what I've said that I think this team has progressed, that I love the direction of this football team. I'm not quitting on the direction of this team. I think the rebuild's still looking good. But yeah, it was a very disappointing week. Mike, man, thank you very much, man. He says, you all do realize that outside of Washington, the Lions, Jets, Tampa, Daniel Jones stats are similar to last year. Also, Shermer never used Jones in the RPO last year. He didn't. And that was a big complaint by a lot of people. And Mike, it's a fair point. When you look at the stats last year, and a lot of people bring this up on Twitter, in the 4 games against, I think it was Detroit, the Jets, Washington, and Tampa, he had 15 touchdowns and no interceptions. In the other 8 contests, he had 9 touchdowns and 12 picks. I think that's what you're referring to. JB, man, thank you very much, man. Do you think the Colombo change hurt the line? No, because the line looked the best it ever did the 2 weeks prior. Well, you want to know what I think happened? I think teams got a book on our offensive line. I think teams exploited it. The Giants came out after the game. Nick Gates said that we weren't prepared for that defense. They came out with a 4-4-3. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they didn't feel like the Giants were going to be able to throw the football and beat them over the top. And the Giants weren't ready for that look, and they got completely outcoached. They got completely out game planned. But I don't think that I still think the offensive line is fine. I don't think Colombo moving. The offensive line wasn't playing well when Colombo was in charge. It came out after the fact that Judge stepped in 3 weeks prior to Colombo being fired, and you started to see the offensive line play better after that. So no, I think it was just a case of the New York Giants getting out game planned. They got out coached. That was the moral of the story in that game. We got out coached thoroughly. Arizona out coached us big time. Let's see what we got here. People want DJ to fail so that they are right, since they never wanted him in the first place. Well, that's wrong. I want to be wrong. I am begging, because obviously I didn't want him in the first place. I've come around. I gave him an opportunity. I saw some growth last year. I want to be dead wrong. Dead wrong. That's why I'm trying to give him as much of a chance as I can. Connor says, we need to run. I already read that. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. No, I didn't. Okay. What are, Chris, do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game against the Browns? No. And if it is, we're going to lose. Can you say my last name? Are you Italian? I am Italian. Half Italian. I'm not full Italian. I don't know. Di Natale? I don't know, Joe. Frankie G, man, what's going on, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Is the pass rush more important than a star cornerback? Well, here's the thing, Jersey Life. I think this is a scheme that creates pressure through coverage. It's not a traditional 4-3. We right now going into that game, and I don't know if we had any sacks in that game. I don't recall. I think we had one late in the game, but we had 35 sacks going in. I think that's already more than we had all of last year. It's a defense that creates pressure through scheme. It's a defense that creates pressure through, deception. I'm not saying we don't need an edge. We do, but we need good coverage for this scheme to work. We do. That's what New England's always built their defense around the secondary. What's up, Dana? Give me some love. What would be an acceptable record for DJ next year? What's going on, Fabian? Thanks for popping in the stream. To me, it's not. I don't know, man. Competitive football team. Him. I said in my video today, I don't know if he's got to be top 10. He's got to show that he's capable of being a top 10 quarterback by year's end next year, and not just statistically. He's got to show that for me. And I'm strict, man. I have to practice what I preach. I've been on YouTube now for 2 years saying if I were the Dallas Cowboys, I would not extend Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's a much better quarterback than Daniel Jones right now. To warrant a second contract in the NFL at the quarterback position, you have to be a top-tier quarterback in my eyes. He's got to show that. I'm not saying he's got to definitively show that by the end of next year, but he has to show that he's capable of it by the end of next year. I don't want to get into stats. I don't want to get into wins and losses. I need to see improvement. I need to see dramatic improvement next year. And I hope the Giants give him the pieces for him in order to do that. Let's see what we got. Why is KP always beefing with someone? That's what he does. He's a troll. JB says, our Hog Mollies couldn't catch Murray draft edge. We could use an edge. We could definitely use an edge. I am not going to cry at all if we draft an edge. Believe me, I am not going to cry at all if we draft an edge. Don Lee says, hey, Chris, can you name another quarterback with no number one wide receiver, below average offensive line? Just because it's better, don't make it good. Also, in their second, no. Don Lee, it's why I want to give him more of an opportunity. I don't think he's been given the ideal situation. I think he's been given close to as bad of a situation as you can get to start a career. 2 systems in 2 years, doesn't have a premier pass threat. The offensive line is at least trending towards average, but it has definitely not been above average since he's been here. I agree with you. He's not been given the tools to succeed. I agree with you. It's why I think he needs another year, and we need to get everything fixed. Big Bang, man. Thank you very much. When is Judge going to step in and coach up our special teams like he did with the offensive line last? Oh God, I don't know if it was the worst yet. The Bengals game I thought was the worst, but it was bad, and it's been 3 weeks now in a row where the special teams has been subpar. And it's got to get better, and it's got to get better fast, because if they put forward that effort on special teams against either one of these next two games, they're going to lose. It's got to get a lot better, Big Bang, and it's got to get a lot better real fast, man. What's going on there, sports player, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. G-Man says, Chris, I can understand your logic for DJ. What I can't understand is people who say he's Peyton. I called him the next Matt Ryan last year and was called a hater. Anybody who says Daniel Jones is Peyton Manning is either completely biased or they don't know what they're talking about. One or the other. And I understand that there's diehard fans that want to believe that he could be the next Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is arguably the greatest quarterback who ever lived. Like, no. 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 Not close. And that's not a knock on Daniel Jones. That's like the greatest quarterback who ever lived, okay? It's not comparable. And I to be honest with you, if we're being fair, I don't think anybody is comparing him to Peyton Manning, at least now. That's ridiculous. I mean, right now, I'd be happy with Kirk Cousins. Like, come on. Let's see what we got here. Who would you rather draft if they are all on the board? Pat Surtain, Devontae Smith, Chase, or Greg Rousseau? I can't spell his name. Probably Surtain, JP. Probably Surtain out of that group. But I don't know where we're going to be picking, but probably Surtain out of that group. Let's see what we got here. Give the kid an actual receiver who can get separation, and he will be fine. I agree he could be fine. I definitely agree he could be fine. He's got to grow, and he needs a better supporting cast. Kyle, man, thank you very much. Last night I noticed Hunt lining up a lot as a wide. I know he's a problem in the passing game. He's probably one of our most underrated players. Baker blows. You talking about Baker Mayfield? I know you. I don't think you're talking about DeAndre Baker. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you're talking about Baker Mayfield, I'm not a big Baker Mayfield fan, to be completely honest with you. And they did use Hunt a lot in the passing game. I'm not a huge Mayfield fan. I don't like what he did about the New York Giants. I don't like what he said about our fans and our football team. I think he's way too cocky for me. I think Mayfield actually looked good last night. Mayfield looks like he's progressed. Now, to be fair, Mayfield has a perfect situation. I mean, they went out there. They got him Conklin. They drafted him a tackle. They've got a lot of weapons, even with Beckham out. And Beckham being out might even be helping him because he's not trying to force the ball to OBJ. You've seen him get better since. I don't know if Baker Mayfield's going to be phenomenal. I don't think he'll probably ever warrant the number 1 overall pick. But Baker Mayfield looked improved to me. But you know what it is with Mayfield? And he's kind of been this way since he's been in the NFL. One week he'll look great, and the next week he'll look like the worst quarterback in the league. Hopefully catch him when he looks like the worst quarterback in the league. But he's actually having a pretty good year. Mike, man, thank you very much, man. I'd sign Brissett in case Jones falls apart next year. Mike, by the way, Mike, you're the man. I don't know how often Mike Francesa is in my streams. Mike, almost every stream I do, I bring up Jacoby Brissett. When I looked at the free agency list for quarterbacks next year, I said to myself, I want a guy with some more experience. I want a guy that seems to be a good team guy. He's got ties to the coaching staff. He's played with Judge. He's played with the quarterback coach Shaplinski. I think it's a perfect fit. I think it's a perfect fit. And if the Giants are going to spend some money on a backup quarterback next year, and Brissett's willing to come here, and he loves Shaplinski, you go back and look at the quotes that he said about Shaplinski. I could see us bringing him in. I think he's a perfect fit. I think he's good enough to step in and still win games if Jones gets hurt or if he's playing really bad through the first 8 games of the year. I like Brissett. I like Brissett a lot, actually. What's going on there, Baruch, man? Thanks for popping to the stream, man. He says, hey, Chris, sorry, it's Hanukkah. Looking forward to prime time. Absolutely. And I am doing the member stream tomorrow, Baruch. I don't know if you're probably not because you got Hanukkah, like you said, but if you are free, I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. Jack, man, thank you very much. What position would you address in free agency and which in the first round of the draft if you can only sign one big free agent after we re-sign the defense? If I could only – okay, first off, I'd have to know where we're picking, and I'd have to know where I value at that pick. And I have to know who's franchise tag. I have to know who's back. But if we had enough money and we were going to bring in one premium piece, I'm looking at one of 2 positions in free agency. I'm not looking at a corner. If you look at the corners right now, they're all older. I think Peterson's the biggest name. He's like 31. I'm looking at a wide receiver or I'm looking at an edge. And I would tend to lean towards the wide receiver. I would like more freedom in the first round. If I could sign a guy like Galladay or if I could sign a guy like Allen Robinson, I think it frees you up to draft defense in the first round. That is the approach I'd like to take. It's also a deep wide receiver draft class. You could still find probably a good one in the third or fourth round. So if I could, in an ideal world, sign one premium free agent, I think I would lean wide receiver, and it would either be Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to re-sign our guys, and I don't think we're going to have a lot of money left after the fact. But I could be wrong, Jack. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Chris, I knew Chase Young would be good, but I didn't think he would be this good. I thought he was going to be really good. So I regret the Giants winning Week 16 last year after seeing Thomas did not play well this week, Peter. I still think Thomas is going to be good. I'm definitely not off the Thomas bandwagon. I still think Thomas is going to be good. But, yeah, Chase Young looked really good this week. Chase Young is going to be one of the top 5 or 6 edge rushers in football. He's really good. There's a reason they called it the Chase Young Bowl. Clara, she says, edge rusher Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, Clara, the thing with Jadeveon Clowney is he's injury prone, and he's never really lived up to the hype for me. And he's one of the trickiest players because I don't get to watch all of his games. But whenever I watch one of his games, he either is non-existent or he's a complete force. He's definitely a guy that could take over a football game, but he doesn't do it consistently enough, and he's injury prone. I'm not a fan of signing him to a long-term contract. Jersey Flight, man, thank you very much. 4 championships, 4 Super Bowls. Only the Green Bay Packers have more. That's right. We have 8 total championships if you include before the Super Bowl merger. Obviously established in 1925. So, yes, in terms of Super Bowls, obviously we don't – I think obviously the Steelers have more, the Cowboys have more, the 49ers have more, the Patriots have more. And then I think we're probably tied with a couple of teams. You got the Green Bay Packers have 4. We have 4. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple other teams. But we're up there. Let's see what we got here. But where do you guys see these O-line stats? Jones has an average of 2.3 seconds to throw before pressure gets there. Tied for 13th with Mahomes. Roger, stop blaming the O-line. Oh, I guess you're talking to somebody else in the chat. But Giants should try to trade for Chase Young. That'll never happen. Dixon Sider, George. Hell of a prospect. George. I may not be a Giants fan, but I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy for you. I understand it. I understand it. But I think we're gonna get another year of him. And we'll see where he is after that. Like Boys Gamer, hey Chris, I think we should get Shaq Barrett in free agency and get Devontae Smith in the draft. Devontae Smith in the draft. He's the wide receiver that's definitely moving up mock drafts. He's been a hell of a wide receiver this year in college. Shaq Barrett's had a bit of a down year last I checked. I haven't looked at his stats as of late, but obviously he had that breakout year last year. Let me take a look at Shaq Barrett's stats. I think he's got 8 sacks now. I mean, he's definitely a really good edge rusher. He had like 20 sacks last year. Hey, I wouldn't cry if we brought him in. I just don't think we're gonna have enough money to do it. Like if we're bringing back Leonard Williams and you're bringing back Dalvin Tomlinson, I don't think we're gonna have enough money to do it. If you don't bring back those guys, then maybe you can go out and get a guy like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the offseason. I think we're going to keep Leo, and I think we're probably going to keep Tomlinson. I think they're going to want to keep that defensive line intact. What's going on there? Pedro, man, thanks for popping in the stream, man. Always a great supporter of my channel. Big Washington football. He's got a YouTube channel, actually. Everybody keeps saying Jones isn't the guy. To all you guys, who would you give me that's better? Oh, they're going to give you a lot of names. They're going to tell you like 10 quarterback prospects in this year's draft. Don says, hey, Chris, can you name another quarterback with no number 1 wide receiver? I already brought that up earlier, Don. And I agree. I think he was put in a really bad situation. I pulled that up earlier, though. I agree. Richard, man, thank you very much, man. Giants get the team to win another year. Giants get the team to win another year off this year. Nothing. Trying to figure that out. Giants get the team to win another year. I don't know. We got to improve the team. I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but we definitely need to try to improve the team, Richard. Absolutely, man. Kyle Pitts is gross. Kyle Pitts is the guy that everybody's in love with this year, and we'll see if the New York Giants decide to draft a top-tier tight end. I am not a fan of taking a tight end in this year's free agents. In this year's draft, rather. But KP asked me the most random questions. Yeah, is KP my travel agent? Are you my travel agent, KP? Chris, you still going on vacation for Christmas? Yes, I am. I'm not telling you where I'm going, but yes, I am. I'm driving somewhere. I'm not going on a flight. I'm driving somewhere. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Watson and Hopkins, all his career. I don't know what you meant by that, Kenny. What do I think about Kyle? What's going on there, Anthony? Man, thanks for popping in the stream. You talking about Pitts, the tight end? I like Pitts a lot from what I've seen. He looks like he'd be a great playmaker, but I don't want to draft a tight end in the first round. Lou says, what's going on, Chris? Stand up. We will get this win this week. They will bounce back. I sure hope so, Lou, man. 1 week at a time, man. I was devastated this week. I really was. I took that loss hard, man, because it's not even that they lost. It's the way they played, and I know the fan base, and I saw people were getting down and blaming the. I hate that. I loved where we were headed with the rebuild and everything else, and I want to get back to that. I want them to put forth a good effort this week. Andrew, what's going on, man? John says, stand up, Giants fans. To answer the question for Sunday, we're winning. I don't care what the stats say. We're winning. Let's go, Giants. Go, G-Man. Love the optimism, man. Stephen Lloyd says, are you driving to Tampa? You be Earl. I am not driving that far. I'm not driving to Tampa. I'm not driving to Tampa. But Mr. Lilly, man, I appreciate you being here. Nick DeWick says, hey, Chris, what's your social security number from KP? Yeah, KP, it's 222-222. Actually, no. 222-22-2222. KP, you can type that in as he seems to ask me everything. Next will be what's my underwear size, what's my shirt size, what's my waistline. Yeah. KP's an oddball. There's no doubt about it. KP's an oddball. In your opinion, will the Giants win the NFC East? If I'm being completely honest with you, no. I think Washington. I think Washington is going to win the NFC East. If I had to be completely honest with you, let's see what we got here. Bank details, please. Chris Cairo says. Roldy, I don't know why Roldy's shaking his head. I don't know if it was because of my social security number or it possibly is because of the NFC East question. Let's see what we got here. Mark says Gardner Minshew maybe for the Giants. I've seen a couple of people bring up Gardner Minshew. The thing is this, Gardner Minshew's still on a rookie contract. Oh, what is he, like a former fourth-round pick? He's not making a lot of money. Jacksonville's probably going to draft a quarterback, but why would Jacksonville just release him? That I don't see that. I mean, maybe they trade him, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't see them just releasing him. Let's see what we got. And I don't really view him as a long-term starting quarterback anyway. Joel says, why does it smell like cannolis in here? Because you're in an entertainer stream, Joe. You know I always bring the cannolis. What's going on, Joe? One of my OGs, man. Thanks for popping in the stream, man. I don't really know what having a routing and account number will actually get you. Oh, it'll get you my bank information. You could probably take money out of my bank account. That would be a start, Cheyenne. That would be a start. I have bought the Giants. Get over it. James Dolan, if you actually bought the Giants, I would literally just end this stream and probably never go live on YouTube ever again. If James Dolan bought the Giants, I would officially give up hope for the New York Giants and sports in general. You've ruined my viewership as a New York Knicks fan for the last 20 years. Please stay as far away from the Giants as you possibly can. I would never talk about the Giants again another day in my life. If James Dolan bought the New York Giants, I'm telling you right now, I would never talk Giants again, ever. So please get that idea out of your head, James Dolan. Please. Let's see what we got. Can only two. Let's see what we got here. No money in Tane account. Have you seen this stream? Oh, Tane is a guy. What's going on there, Waterfly, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's bring Darnold in to back up Jones in for competition. Somebody brought that up earlier, August. I don't see it. I actually don't hate Darnold, but I don't see it. I don't think that'll be the case. Darnold's already making a lot of money. You got to remember he was the third overall pick, so I would imagine he'd make it $10 million this year. I don't see it. I do want to bring in an experienced backup, though. I brought up Jacoby Brissett. I think Darnold probably gets traded. You also have to trade for Darnold. The Jets aren't going to just release him. Somebody's going to be willing to give up something for Sam Darnold. And I think that he'll probably end up, with a team like maybe the Steelers, the Colts, the Cowboys. Somebody's going to trade for him. I do not think it'll be the New York Giants. I don't see the Jets just releasing him. When David Sills is healthy, let's move him to quarterback. Yeah, no. Yeah, nope. If David Sills couldn't quarterback at West Virginia, he can't quarterback in the NFL. But I wouldn't mind seeing him line up as a wide receiver. He could definitely use a tall threat. On his final record prediction, 6 or 7 wins. Depending on if we're able to get an upset here or there. 6 or 7 wins. John, man, thank you very much. With our luck, Jones gets traded to another team and pops up and has an amazing year or two. But who knows? I sure hope not, man. I sure hope not, man. That would be the worst feeling in the world. And Gavin, man, thank you very much. I think Chris has a separate bank account from AJ. Gavin, Gavin's always funny, man. Gavin's funny. Yeah, I do. It's called I have a savings account, I have a checking account, and I have an Asia account. It's actually collecting good interest. I do have an Asia account. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Gavin. Let's see what we got here. Why did Watson had to sign that 4-year deal? Jeremy says Chris should be the quarterback. Can't be any worse than Danny Donations. Any guy says, do you think the Jets compete next season? Okay, so here's the thing with the Jets. Somebody asked that. I wasn't able to pull it up. Here's the thing with the Jets. No, I think the Jets are improved next year. I think they're headed down the right path because they're going to get a top-tier quarterback. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence. And I do think that offensive line is maturing and getting better. They have a lot of draft picks. They have a lot of cap space. The Jets' future success is not going to just be tied to Trevor Lawrence. It's also going to be tied to the head coach they bring in. They got to make sure they bring in the right guy. Obviously, the popular name is Eric Bieniemy. Who knows if he'd be a good head coach? I know he's an offensive mind. He doesn't call the plays in Kansas City. But no matter what the Jets do, they got to make sure they get the right head coach. So that's the most important thing. But I think they could be headed down the right path. I am not driving to Baltimore for the game. I am not. I'm going to be calling the game on you're talking about the following week. No, I'm going away for Christmas with the family. We booked it a while ago. But no, I'm not going to the game. G-Man Rising, man, thank you very much. Eric Bieniemy should go to the Chargers if Lynn is fired. He's going to get a job somewhere. He's too hot of a coaching candidate. Lynn may be fired. I mean, they've definitely underperformed this year. All right, you take a look at the potential coaching vacancies. You have potentially the Chargers. You have the Houston Texans. You have the New York Jets. Potentially the Chicago Bears, I would think. Nagy's definitely underperformed since the start of the year. Who am I forgetting? There's at least like 2 more definites. The Lions, for sure, is an opening. Those are a couple. Demon, man, thank you very much. All of Chris's stripper money goes to the Asia account. What's going on there, Demon, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Jones can be a serviceable quarterback in the league. He's not a guy that's going to make non-scripted plays to help win a Super Bowl. He's just not a franchise quarterback. I understand where you're coming from, Oldie. I need to see a lot more growth. Here's what I'm going to say. I have not completely closed the door on Daniel Jones, but I'm definitely not ready to run through the door for Daniel Jones in terms of being a franchise quarterback. I need to see a lot more. I'm not going to just blindly say he's the guy. I need to see a lot more. I haven't quit on him. I'm going to give him another year. If they decide to give him another year, I understand that he has not been given the best of circumstances, but I need to see a lot more. I do. Let's see what we got here. What's going on there, Saquon Barkley? Man, Saquon, always love when you pop into the stream, man. T-Boy says he absolutely needs to improve, man. And Kyle, man, thank you very much, man. He says, I will sue the New York Giants if Gallman doesn't get 25 carries. I like Morris, but Gallman needs to be more involved. AT versus Garrett. AT can redeem himself. I listen, man. I need AT to come out with a good effort. I'm a huge Andrew Thomas fan. If you follow me on Twitter or my community notes, I bought an Andrew Thomas jersey and wait for it to get here. I'm a huge Andrew Thomas fan. I like the way he was playing the last 4 or 5 games, and I still think he's going to be a really good tackle in this league. But yeah, that is a major test this week, going up against arguably the best edge rusher in football. Myles Garrett is ridiculous. And we'll see. He's definitely going to be put to the test. Giants are going to have to help him out a bit. Gallman needs to be used a lot. I don't know what the Giants have been doing the last couple of weeks with Gallman. They don't use him that much in the first half, at least the week before, and it worked in the second half. He ran all over the field, but I'm with you. We need to see more Gallman. I'm completely with you on that. I like the committee approach, but Gallman needs to be the primary focus. Mike, man, thank you very much. Give Jones a wide receiver one. He has 45 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and a 120 QBR. So Mike basically, Mike, hey, bro, no, what I'm doing, okay, yeah, okay, Diet Coke, okay. So Mike is basically saying if we get Daniel Jones a number one wide receiver, he turns into Aaron Rodgers. Mike, man, showing some moxie there. The 5 Squad says, thoughts on Danny Jones playing 100% on this Sunday. Also, check out the TikTok, Danny Dimes Daddy. I'm not on TikTok, but if anybody is, be sure to make sure to check that out. I hope he is. We need him. If he's not 100% at this point, I would say don't start him. I don't start him. If he's not mobile, you don't want him to re-aggravate that injury, and hopefully he didn't this week. He's got to be 100%. If he's not 100% or like 95%, I'm not starting him this week. I'm just not. I'm not. So we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he is. Josh Allen already plays for their New York team. He could easily steal him at night and bring him to the Giants. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Jake. Do you respond to non-highlighted comments? Andrew, I've been doing it the whole stream. Obviously, there's, close to 500 people in here the whole time. It's hard for me to get to everybody, but I just did just there. Let's see what we got. What do you think about Jalen Waddle if we get a high enough draft pick? He's been dropping on mocks a little bit. I got to do a lot more research on the wide receivers. I know he was the consensus number 2 wide receiver going in. That's since changed. I got to do a lot more research before I give you definitive opinions. I am definitely leaning towards what's going on, Matt, man. Thanks for popping in the stream. I'm definitely leaning towards possibly taking a wide receiver. It's something we definitely need. Let's see what we got here. I think Jones needs a better OC. Look at Goff with Fisher. Yeah, that's exactly what I said today, MY Chris. Great play callers could make quarterbacks a lot better than what they really are. And maybe Garrett's not the answer. But 3 OCs in 3 years is asking a lot of your quarterback. Mike, man, thank you very much. Jones is better than Allen. Allen has Diggs. You must be in my Discord, Mike Francesa. You must be in my Discord, Mike Francesa. That is the most ridiculous argument I always get into with Bigger Mike. I for the life of me, I don't understand it. For the life of me. But I'm not even going to get into it. Chris, top 5 quarterbacks, go. Top 5 quarterbacks this year. One is Aaron Rodgers this year. Aaron Rodgers the MVP. This year. Two's Pat Mahomes. 3's Russell. I'd have to look at the numbers. But I mean, obviously Mahomes, Rodgers, Wilson. Those are the top 3. And then you could get into a debate after that. But those are the clear top 3 for me. Steve, man, thank you very much. Right, Pee-wee, I have to bet 3 a.m. Let's go Giants. Well, Steve, man, you have a great night, man, all the way from across the pond. Watson's definitely up there. I'd probably have Watson in my top 5. He's probably in my top 5. He's having a great year with not a lot of weapons. And Allen might be 5 this year. He might be 5. Any players on either side of the ball you think we should let go or not re-sign? You know what, man? I hate this question. It's a good question. I hate it because you know the average fan, Andrew, says, "Oh, they're good. You have to keep them," because they don't take the salary cap into consideration. I hate saying that I would not bring these players back, but you're not gonna be able to keep all 3 defensive players. You're not gonna be able to keep Dalvin Tomlinson, Leonard Williams, and Logan Ryan, in my opinion. I don't think you're gonna be able to keep all 3. And it's going to be a tough decision. We're not keeping all 3. I would lean as Logan Ryan's been an unbelievable leader for this football team. Unbelievable. One of my favorite players on the team. We're deep there. If you feel like McKinney's the guy, which if you drafted him that early, I would hope that you do. I can't commit unless Logan Ryan's willing to come back on a 1-year deal. I think he's going to be a cap casualty. I know fans don't want to hear that, but that's what I'm leaning right now. Let's see what we got here. The Packers would absolutely suck without Rodgers, and the Chiefs were good with Alex Smith. Yeah, but I mean, let's be real. I mean, Pat Mahomes is still unbelievable. Nick, I know. How can anybody on the radio, on YouTube, how can fans be critical of players that they're not as good as athletically? I'm with you on that. And thank you, Afghanistan. Yeah, if you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. This team is close. Somebody said this team is close to being a solid team. I'm kind of with you on that, Don. I think we're very close to being a solid team. I still believe in this rebuild. I still think we're headed down the right direction. How many years until we're Super Bowl contenders? A lot of that's going to be dependent on the quarterback. Whether it's Daniel Jones or whoever they bring in the future. I'll tell you what, things could happen real fast in the NFL. But it's going to depend on the offseason. It's going to be dependent on the growth of Daniel Jones if he's going to be the guy going forward. It's impossible for me to answer that. But what I'll tell you is if Jones becomes a top 10 quarterback, which a lot of people seem to think he could be, it could be fast. We already have a good defense, and it's only going to get better. The offensive line is only going to get better. And if we get a top-tier wide receiver and a running back, we could be a really good football team. But a lot of it's going to be dependent on Daniel Jones or whoever we bring in. Tudo, man, thank you very much. He says, I hate to see by the time we fix all the issues and problems on the special teams and offense years to come and see this great defensive team go away piece by piece. Patrick Graham, Leo, etc. We got Graham. I don't think we're going to lose Graham. I really don't. I'm not saying we won't lose him in the future. I don't think we're going to lose Graham this offseason. I could be wrong. I think he might get interviews. I don't think we're going to lose him. I think in the end he's going to stay. And I think we'll keep Leo too. I think both of them are going to be back with the New York Giants if I had to guess. I think Williams just played too good. I know he played bad this week, but I think we're going to pay Williams. I think he's going to be here. I think he wants to be here. I think he fits the scheme well. And he's been a big part of this defense. I think Leo's back. I don't know how long the contract's going to be. I don't know how much he's going to get paid. That's obviously going to be a huge discussion in the offseason. I think he'll be back, and I think Patrick Graham will be back. 10 wins next year. Cheese whiz. Same answer I said before. It's dependent on the quarterback. I think we have the team that could be. We need Jones to grow. We need Jones to get better. It's dependent on the quarterback. It's dependent on the offense. Chris, mark my words, upset this Sunday. I ain't going to say that because I'm going to tell you what, whenever I say that, we lose. I've learned not to get cocky about this football team, not to get overly optimistic. I'm going to tell you we're going to lose. I told you we're going to lose against Seattle. We won. I'm going to tell you we're going to lose against Cleveland. I'm going to hope that we win. But I hope you're right and I'm wrong. So thank you for being here, buddy. Look at Rodgers' numbers without Devontae Adams. It's not even close. I could throw the ball to Devontae. Aaron Rodgers the MVP this year. I don't know if that's what you're talking about right now. I don't even think it's close. Aaron Rodgers the MVP. Aaron Rodgers the MVP this year. Chris Jones says, Chris, the key to the game is slowing down the Browns' running game. Whenever you're versing the Browns, that's always the key. You got to stop that strong running attack. That's the name of the game with them. That's what they build their offense around. They got a great offensive line. They got a great running back in Nick Chubb. And that's absolutely what the New York Giants have to do. That's the strength of our defense. I mean, it's supposed to be. Our strong defensive line. We're supposed to be good there. And it's strength versus strength. They're really strong there. It's not going to be easy. But, yeah, that is the biggest key on defense. The quarterback affects so much more than in the past. If this were the 1980s Giants, they would be a top team in the league. The league is just so different. We have a top 10 defense yet or 9th in the draft. Yeah, I think there's a little bit more to it than strictly the quarterback. But, yeah, the quarterback is obviously very important. John says, I had a feeling we'd lose to the Cardinals that game. Should have been too easy. We always lose the easy games and win the upsets. Well, here's the thing, man. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I was guilty of it too. That was not an easy game. I shouldn't have went in there. I don't think I went in there with the mentality that it was an easy game, but I really thought we were gonna win the game, and I was very optimistic. I was very convinced that we were gonna win that game, and you shouldn't take the Cardinals lightly. They have a good football team, and it was a desperate game for them. They needed to win. They had lost 3 straight. And the thing that's so discouraging about the game for me, more so than anything else, we got outcoached. We got outcoached thoroughly. And that was what was discouraging. I am a big believer in Judge. I'm a big believer in this coaching staff. We got out-schemed. We got out-coached. It was clearly evident They came out with a much better game plan than we did. That was the most discouraging thing in that game for me. How badly we were outcoached. And Roldy, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. He says, I see this team in the right direction, but if the quarterback doesn't work, we are screwed big time. I let Williams walk, and I'll draft a pure pass rusher or sign one. I think that's what you meant by that, Roldy. I understand that logic as well. A lot of people they don't want to overpay for Leonard Williams. We'll see what they decide to do, Roldy. I think he does fit the scheme. I think he's played really well for this team. I think they're going to sign him in the end. But I understand you don't want to overpay for him. I understand it. You think the money could be spent better elsewhere. I understand it. See on Yankee fan, thank you very much. 21 points will not win the next 2 games. I agree with that. Yeah. I completely agree with you. I think we're going to need at least mid-20s. Minimum 24 points we're going to need to win both of these games. I agree with that. Roldy, man, thank you very much, man. Williams is getting sacks based off the scheme and other players opening up for him, not worth paying him big money. I'm going to be fair, though, Roldy. Some of you're right in certain instances. There's other times where he's blowing up the line. He's been really good for us, Roldy. I'm going to be fair. He's been really, really good. But the question comes down to, is he worth $19 million? 18, whatever he's going to cost. You know he's going to want at least 16 and a half. And that's what the New York Giants are going to have to decide. I'm leaning. If Gettleman's back, I think he's going to be here. If Gettleman's not back, then that's up for interpretation. Gettleman traded for him. Gettleman's obviously very high on him. Now, Judge definitely has, he's definitely going to give his opinion. But the way that Leo's have played, and I still think Gettleman's going to be back. Maybe I'll be wrong in the end. I still think Gettleman's going to be back. And if Gettleman's going to be back, I think Leonard Williams will be back. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Let's see what we got here. Chris, Seahawks or Washington? I'm going to tell you what, Philip. I'm going to tell you what. The way Washington's been playing lately, I worry in that game. People called me crazy, man, and I didn't even pick Washington. But 2 weeks ago, I said Washington was going to give the Steelers a good fight, and I was really worried that Washington could win that game. And Washington's playing really good right now. Washington's going to have an opportunity to win that game. They just are. I'm leaning Seahawks. It's a big game for Seattle. They're in the NFC West divisional battle, but Washington's got a really good defense. I'm going to pick the Seahawks, but Washington definitely has a chance to win that game. I'm probably going to take the Seahawks by a field goal, but Washington's got a good chance to win that game. Tana, what would happen if we tie at the end? If we tie, we're probably getting in, Fabian, because we own the tiebreaker against Washington. We would own the tiebreaker against Dallas if we were to beat them the last game of the season. We cannot tie against Philadelphia unless we actually tied because they have a tie in their record. So if we tie, we're going to get in. We'd own the tiebreaker against both the teams that, obviously are most likely that we would tie with, Washington and Dallas, if we beat Dallas. And we're not getting in if we don't beat Dallas week 17. So if we tie, we're going to get in. Let's see what we got here. We don't have an edge rusher. You all forget we still have Jimenez and Carter. Yeah, but James, they're not premier edge rushers. And I like Carter. I think Carter fits this scheme really well. And I think he's going to be good if he's fully recovered from that injury next year, and hopefully he is. He looked good in this defense the first 3 weeks or whatever it was before he went down. But they're not premier edge rushers. But we'll see. I was never fully bought into Jimenez. I think he could be a good player. I was much more on the Carter train, and I still like Carter. It's going to depend on how he recovers from that injury, but I don't view either one as a number one edge rusher. So it would not matter if they beat San Fran and Pittsburgh. Fabian, here's the thing. Right now, Washington, they have a 1-game lead on us. Obviously, they have a better record right now. For us to control our own destiny going into week 17, which is what you want, we probably got to go 2-0. Because even if we go 1-1, the only way we control our own destiny going into week 17, Washington would have to go 0-2. And the way Washington's playing right now over the next 2 games, I don't see that happening. They play Carolina after this. They're playing Seattle this week. It's possible. But if Washington wins one of the next 2 games and we don't win both of our next 2 games, we do not control our destiny in week 17. We would need help from the Eagles. And even then, depending on how the Eagles play down the stretch, we may not be able to get in. Because let's say the Eagles win their next 2 games. Let's just say they do. And they're at 6-8-1 going into the last week. And and Washington is 7-8. One would be guaranteed 7 wins. We'd have to be 8-8 to be above Philadelphia, because they would be, if they won, they would be 8. Whatever it is, we need to win out. I think we need to win out. If I had to guess, I think we have to win out. I think it's going to take 8 wins for us to get in. But it's one game at a time. We got to beat Cleveland first, and we can only control what's on our schedule, man. Saquon will be bowling next year. You just wait. Gallman and Saquon will be our thunder and lightning. I am excited. Did you read the report? I'm excited to see Saquon in this offense with the better offensive line. The question I have is he going to be 100% recovered? John Mara says, did you hear the report that ESPN, the Judge, is not happy with Gettleman and wants to bring in his own personnel? Also said Judge will definitely get more power in the organization this offseason. I did not see that, John, but I will look for that after the stream. And if that's the case, I'll talk about it tomorrow. I did not see that. I'm guessing Jordan Ronan probably said it. I'll take a quick look. Dave Gettleman, New York Giants. Let's type it in. Let's see if I can find it. Giants GM Dave Gettleman deserves to keep his job after a strong offseason. That's Yahoo Sports. I'll look after the stream. I'll try to find it on ESPN. I did not, but I'm guessing it's Jordan Ronan. And that may be the case. Who knows? They may be trying to stir up drama. You know what I'm saying, John? I don't know, John. You would know better than me. Let's say Saquon comes back and we re-sign Wayne Gallman. Saquon wins Comeback Player of the Year and looks better than ever. What will you ask for a trade? I mean, I don't even want to think about that right now. I really don't. I honestly don't want to think about trading away Saquon Barkley right now. I want to see him in this offense, and I want to enjoy the 2021 season before we get into that. But if he plays phenomenal, and there's the article. Okay. But New York Giants rumors. All right, I will copy that, and I will try to look. Let me take a picture here, and I will look at it after the stream. Manish Maida is now on the Giants beat. Joseph says, Chris, this is the NFL. Nothing's for sure. Ask the Saints. Ask the Steelers. Referring to what, Joe? You mean Super Bowls? I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, of course not, man. Let's see what we got here. Good answer, ET. People who want to trade Saquon would probably trade their own kids. What's up, Prince Castro? Listen, man, I understand. You know I'm wearing his jersey. You know I'm a big Saquon guy. But I'm always what is for best for the team. I'm never going to put a player above the team. I understand where people are coming from, but at the end of the day, we got a talent. I want to see how he does in this offense, and I'm not ready to even think about trading him. I want to see how he does coming back from the injury. I still think he can be a really good football player for this team. We don't know for the future of him. We don't know the future of Jones. I want to see them both play in 2021, and then we'll figure it out. They're both still on their rookie contracts. I love Saquon. I think he's going to play good for the Giants next year if he's fully healthy. We're not funny, man. What's going on? Hey, Chris, how are you today? What's going on, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Washington is going on a slide. Trust my word, we need to win 2 more. I hope so. Let's see. So now that we lost to Jalen freaking Hurts, they'll have to bounce back. Don't worry, it's only against Patrick Mahomes. Should be interesting. I can't believe that the Saints. Now, granted, you didn't have Drew Brees in there. You finally lost the game last Jedi without Brees. I mean, my God, you guys won 5 last year without him. Oh, there he is. What's up there, Jordan? What's up there, Jordan? Jordan Renan says, stop stealing my articles, you smooth criminal. What's up there, I love you, Jordan. Love you, Jordan. What's going on, buddy? I don't hate Jordan. I don't hate Jordan. I don't hate Jordan. But I didn't agree with what he had to say. I don't think he was talking about us, though, after I listened to his podcast. Sounded like he was, well, who knows? But it sounded like he was talking about Instagram people. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Brandon, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. He says, what would your thoughts be if the Giants draft Ian Book? He's not an NFL quarterback, Brandon. Maybe as a late round pick. He's not an NFL quarterback. What did Edward Chance say? Edward Chance in my streams all the time. He got timed out. Well, let's see what he said. Oh, because he was spamming? Yeah, just don't spam, guys. People don't like that. Ian Book. Somebody said who's Ian? He's the quarterback for Notre Dame. He's the quarterback for Notre Dame. Ian Book. I don't really view him as an NFL level quarterback. Let's see what we got here. What you drinking, Chris? Coffee, Baruch. Man, thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. By the way, I am a huge, I shouldn't use the word huge because I'm more of a casual college football fan, but I'm definitely a Notre Dame fan. That's going to be a good game against Clemson. I'm looking forward to that one. They beat Clemson earlier this year, and now they're playing them in the ACC championship. Now, the thing is, if Notre Dame loses, they're still getting in. They're still making the playoffs. I would think. They already beat Clemson this year. They're undefeated. If Clemson loses, they miss out on the playoffs. So that's a big game for Clemson. I think Notre Dame gets in no matter what, but I'm looking forward to watching that. What's going on there? I saw Authentic's in here. Got to talk to you soon, Authentic. But what's going on, my man? What do you think about Parsons? I like Parsons. Like a boss gamer. I like Parsons. I think he fit the scheme well. He's exactly what we need. Again, depends on where we're picking. But yes, I would definitely welcome him in the right situation. I like Parsons. See the rumor? Yes. And it's rumors. You're going to hear that. But he's going to want money, Patrick. He's not going to come cheap. You know that. I don't think he's going to be able to command that much because of the salary cap going down. But he's going to want at least 18 probably. He's having a career year. He's going to want to get paid. No, Nick, not having Bobby on tonight. Good to see you, Authentic. If you guys haven't done so, please subscribe to Authentic in the Beard. Would you take a quarterback or wide receiver in the draft or defense? I'm not taking a quarterback. Personally, I would not take a quarterback yet. I am going wide receiver or corner or linebacker. Again, it depends on where we're picking. I don't know where we're picking. T-Boy, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, man. Rather re-sign Leo or Dalvin at the current values. I would guess Dalvin, Dalvin has basically said he's willing to take a discount. Let's say Dalvin's willing to come back for 10 and Leo is going to cost 18. That's tough. I think Leonard Williams is the better player. I think Dalvin's more replaceable. I love Dalvin. Dalvin's a leader on this football team. That's tough. That's really tough. I want to keep both. I really want to keep both, and I hope they're able to do it. I think Leonard Williams is more important than Dalvin Tomlinson, and Dalvin Tomlinson's really good. I would lean Leonard. I would lean Leonard Williams. 5 Squad, man. Thank you very much. TikTok at Dan Dimes Daddy. All right, there you go, 5 Squad, man. Thank you. There you go. Dan Dimes Daddy. Let's see what we got here. I don't understand why we just didn't run the ball last week. What you think? Well, here's the thing. We ran the ball. We didn't run the ball enough. What's up, Big Drip, man? Thanks for popping in the stream. We should have ran a lot more than what we did. Rolly says it's very important for the Giants to be smart regarding Barkley and Williams. Can't let the trade and draft force them into signing them. Tough situation. It's a really tough situation, Rolly. It is. Here's what I'm going to say, Rolly, about the Saquon situation. I'm not even entertaining signing Saquon unless he can prove he's healthy. He's got to stay healthy. What is going to give, if Daniel Jones proves not to be the guy, which I don't want that to be the case. Oh God, why would you come in here and spam? Why would he come in here and spam? But if Daniel Jones proves not to be the guy, which I hope is not the case, I want him to be the franchise quarterback. I want him to be the guy going forward, and I'm giving him 2021 to prove that he can be. But if Daniel Jones proves to not be the guy, it is much more likely and probable that the New York Giants would extend Saquon Barkley, because then you're going to have a lot more money freed up. You're not going to have to commit that to your quarterback. And the way you would look at it if you're the New York Giants is at least a guy like Saquon Barkley could help out the rookie quarterback that we bring in. So what makes it tough is if Barkley proves he's healthy and proves he's a difference maker, is knowing that you have to extend Daniel Jones, then it makes the decision much harder. If Daniel Jones proves not to be the guy, which I'm hoping is not the case, I think it's much more likely Barkley gets extended. T-Boy, man, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, man. He says, the only way I would be okay with a quarterback is if Jones or Trask slides to the second round. And maybe that'll happen. They always, I wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys slips to the second round. Drew Lock slipped to the second round. Everybody said he was going to go in the first. It happens every year. Quarterbacks drop to the second round. I don't think we're taking a quarterback in the first 2 rounds. I could be wrong. What's going on? Engraven, I got to have you on, or I got to go, whatever. I got to work with you. By the way, go on over there and check him out. But I've been watching your channel for a while. I know I don't comment, but I think you got a great channel. I got to work with you, man, when we're playing the Ravens in a week. I'd love to, I come on yours, you come on mine, whatever. We'll talk about it. If you have a Twitter, I'll follow you there. And, I'll look for you on Twitter. Maybe I'll shoot you a message. But I'd love to work with you, in the upcoming week. Is Pizzle in here? Pizzle's in here. What's going on, Pizzle? Where is he? Everybody said, what's up, Pizzle? I don't see him, but what's going on, Pizzle, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. The reason why Jones sucks is because Jones has a bad O-line and mediocre receivers. It's not Jones' fault that you guys can't draft. That's definitely part of it. That's definitely part of it. It's definitely part of it. Antonio Brown, what's going on? Entertainment Sports. Do you think the Giants will get me A.B. Boomin? No. Antonio Brown will not be a New York Giant. He'd be the last guy that the New York Giants would ever look to bring in. No. He's got connections to Judge, I guess, with the Patriots, but no, he's not coming here. Dylan, man, thank you very much. Pizzle needs the link. If Pizzle wants to come on, he can come on. I'd bring Pizzle on. I'll give him the link. Dylan says Alex Smith is out the next 2 games. Well, I know that he got hurt. I read today that there was a good chance that Alex Smith was going to be on. He was going to play this week. I read that on, I think it was RotoWire. I read that there was a good chance he was going to play this week. Let me see. Cop, there he is. If he wants to come on, he's more than welcome to. I just gave him the link. More than welcome to. Let's see what we got here. What if at 10 Parsons and Smith are both there? Who are you taking, Chris? Oof. Oh, man. To be completely honest with you, it would have a lot to do. Tana, please undo. Undo what? I don't know what you mean by that, Waterfly, man. Thank you for being here. I don't know if I said that earlier. Thank you for being here. It would have a lot to do with my draft board in the second round. If I felt like there was a really good wide receiver I get in the second round, I'd go Parsons. That's what it would come down to. It would come down to value. But I view wide receiver as a bigger need right now, even though I value linebacker as a more important position. So it would come down to my draft board in terms of the second round. Let's see what we got here. How long till we're Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl contenders? I don't know. How long is it till we have a quarterback we could trust that's a top 10 quarterback in the league? That answers your question. Once we get a franchise quarterback, a guy that we could say definitively is a franchise quarterback, that's when I could tell you would be Super Bowl contenders. That's the bottom line. If the improvements that we make on this roster makes Daniel Jones a top 10 quarterback, we could be Super Bowl contenders next year. I believe that. If that happens. Matthew, man, thank you very much, man. What happens to Solder? I think we cut him after June 1st. I think we cut him after June 1st. It saves $10 million. I don't think he's coming back. Let's see what we got here. Do you think the Giants are better than the Chiefs? I did give Cop the link. Next question. Next question, Big Drip. Next question, Big Drip. Next question. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I had to really think about I had to really think about that one. I had to really think. Are you serious? Let's see what we got here. I swear this is why I be loving these streams. What's up there, Vidu? Humanity says the Entertainment Poker Sports. What should the Giants' game plan be to beat the Browns? Stuff the box. You have to stuff the run at all costs. You have to stuff the box. You have to force Mayfield to beat you with his arm. And on offense, it's always the same game plan to me. Well, not always, but most of the time, it's run the ball as much as you can. The Browns have a better offense. We have to manage the clock and keep them off the field. I'm not saying we don't take shots, but we have to focus on the run heavily, and we got to stuff the box and force Mayfield to beat us with his arm. But let's see what we got here. Have you noticed our wide receiver separation 1.53, about 2.86 league average? Justin, a lot of people always bring that up, and there's a couple of factors there. One, some people point to the scheme with Jason Garrett, and that I'm sure that has something to do with it. There's not a lot of rub routes. He doesn't create separation. And the other, Justin, is just quite simply, we don't have the talent. We just don't. Golden Tate is not a guy. He's a yak guy, even though we're not seeing a ton of it this year. But he's a slot guy. He's not a guy that's going to create a ton of separation. Slayton is a burner, but he's his route tree, that was his weakness coming in. He's not an unbelievable route runner. And Shepard, first off, Shepard's hurt a lot, and Shepard's good, but he's never been a guy that creates a lot of separation. So, yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me. We don't have supreme talent at that position, and the scheme's not helping. So, that's definitely a part of it, as to why Daniel Jones is struggling. But there's more to it than just that, but that's definitely part of it. Who's better, Jones or Wentz? Probably Jones at this point. I mean, Wentz is really bad this year. Let's see what we got. Hey, Chris, can you put some Mets content on real? Yes, Baruch. I'm going to try to do that. I'm actually going to be working on a Mets podcast. And I don't know if it'll be on YouTube or off of it. I'll probably start it on YouTube. Maybe I'll keep it on YouTube if people like it. I'm going to be starting a Mets podcast. It's going to be long, probably like 45 minutes once a week. I'm going to be doing that. So, yeah, look out for that probably in about a month. Darth Liquor, man, thank you very much, man. He says, Thomas versus Garrett not looking good. Yeah, that's a clear mismatch. We'll see. He's going to need some help. Joe Nathan, man, thank you very much. We got way too predictable on offense last game. We didn't run the ball enough on offense last game. We didn't run the ball enough with a banged-up quarterback. We actually run the ball effectively in terms of yards per carry. But, yeah, I don't think we run the ball enough, man. And I don't know if Pizzle was in here. Pizzle might not have wanted to come on the stream, guys. I sent them the link. Let me make sure. Yeah, I sent them the link. You might be busy, guys. Barry said, how do you feel about people blaming the majority last week on Jones rather than the coaches? I think it's wrong. To be honest with you, Barry, and I don't want to sound like a Jones apologist. I'm not. I'm not. I think Jones has definitely not been as good as I was hoping for this year. I knew he would come out struggling with the new scheme, but this game was on the coaching staff much more than Daniel Jones. I agree with you on that, Barry. I strongly agree with you on that. Let's see what we got here. I sent Bizzle the link. What's going on, Finesse, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. It's on Twitter, Pizzle. I don't know if he's checking his cell phone. It's on Twitter. I sent them the link. Rolly says, Chris, how was different from last season besides Shermer? Jones had the same receivers from last year. Well, that's obviously the scheme has a lot to do with it. But yeah, I mean, there's no Barkley, but Barkley, that obviously is part of it as well in terms of his weaponry. But Barkley was not himself for half the season last year. Defense has got more of a book on him, but Roldy, man, I said it coming into the year, and I like some of the things that Daniel Jones showed. Why is Pizzle not a mod? I scrapped all my mods. It has nothing to do with Pizzle. I'm slowly giving him back. He'll get a mod. But last year, he beat up on bad teams too. His stats were misleading, if you're being completely honest. They were. I mean, against good teams, he was bad last year. He showed signs that he could be a good quarterback, and that's what you want from a rookie. You don't expect a finished product. He showed enough where I was excited going into his second year. But his stat, I always thought his stats he didn't match up with how he played. He threw 15 touchdowns in 4 games, no picks. The other 8 games, he had 9 touchdowns and 12 picks. So we played a much weaker schedule last year too, and he had to learn a new scheme, man. He had to learn a scheme that he wasn't meant for. He was drafted for the Shermer scheme. There's a learning curve that goes with that. And I think that's a lot of the factors. And I don't think he fits the Garrett scheme as well as he does the Shermer scheme. His best win was versus the Eagles. I agree with that. It's the first time we beat them in 9,000 years. What's going on, Peter Ruiz, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy. Hey, Chris, do you feel about Jason Garrett? You think he should be around next year, or we find a new OC to develop Jones on his last year to prove it? How do you feel about Jason Garrett? You think he should be around next year, or we find a new OC? Chris K, man, that's been. Have a good night. Somebody said good night. Have a good night. That's been the golden question, Chris. All stream, all week. I'm gonna go with what Joe Judge says. Period. There's a lot of fans that are saying that Garrett's the problem with Jones. Everybody's a Twitter GM. Everybody, and everybody has their opinions. I'm not discounting anybody's opinion. And if that's what Joe Judge decides and he feels like it's holding back Jones, make the move. I'll trust Joe Judge. Make the move. But it's risky. 3 schemes in 3 years is risky. Finally fixing the O-line, man. Thank you very much. No separation with curl routes. Garrett sucks. His play calling was not good, especially in this game. It was really bad. It's not good. It's not good. But if they make a third change, they better be right. They better be right because they're really screwing with their quarterback. Crimson says, I love Milk Duds. I hate Milk Duds, actually. I think it's one of the most disgusting candies there are. I actually cannot stand Milk Duds. I can't stand them. Shermer is the OC, T-Boy says. T-Boy, man, thank you so much, man, for the $2 donation. It will not happen. There is no way in hell that Pat Shermer's coming back here. Joe Judge will never let the previous head coach be his offensive coordinator. It's not going to happen. Now, could you bring somebody in maybe with a similar offensive philosophy if you feel like he fits the scheme better that way? Shermer runs more of a West Coast style offense. Yeah, you could look to do that to try to fit it around what you feel are his strengths, but it will not be Pat Shermer. No way. No way. And I wouldn't hate that. I in terms of an OC, but it will not happen. Can you name an OC you would want that might be available? I talked about it earlier. I mean, if they decide to move on from Garrett, I would think there's a good chance it could be somebody on the staff already. Kitchens had success in Cleveland with Baker Mayfield before he got the head coaching position where he failed miserably. And of course, you got Chaplinsky, the quarterback coach, who a lot of people like. Those are the 2 possibilities on the staff. And then a guy like O'Shea is a guy that I talked about earlier. He's got ties. He was the offensive coordinator for Miami last year. He was on the Patriots staff with Joe Judge. Those are some names I throw out there. Jake, man, thank you very much. Every loss this fan base calls for people's heads. Jake, that's just the way it works. Love the icon, by the way. Jake, that's the way it works, man. And it's kind of why I was like, I need a break because I already saw it in the stream and I knew it was coming. We won 4 straight. Any loss we have, that people are going to go ballistic, and especially when they put forth an effort like that. And some of it's justified. To me, the coaching staff was the biggest letdown for me, along with the offensive line and the special teams. But that's just the way the fan base works, Jake. They're a demanding fan base. Viducha, man, Entertainment Sports. Which receiver would you want the Giants to get? A wide receiver like Devontae Smith in the draft or Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson in free agency? Ideal world, I would like to get the guy in free agency, but I don't think we're going to have the money to do it. But ideal world, get me the Allen Robinson, get me the Golladay, and so I can focus on defense early in the draft. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to end up drafting one. What's up there, Nick Frey, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, man. Let's see what we got. Hot take, but in week 1, Saquon looked horrible in front of the Steelers. Then I thought to myself that it was just the O-line. Then after he got hurt, that's a really hot take. I think it has everything to do with the offensive line. If you go back and watch those Steelers games, And you watch, he actually was running pretty well the second game before he went down. I think he had 30 yards on like 4 carries. And there's Pizzle. If you go back and you watch the game, though, the first week, I don't care who the running back was. They weren't getting yards. The offensive line was horrible against the Steelers. But Pizzle's off the stream. We'll bring him in a second. Pizzle's got the belt. What's up, Pizzle? You hear me, Pizzle? Uh-oh.
Are you doing a Q&A?
I want you, not now that you're here, I want to talk to you, buddy.
I got a Q&A. I got a Q&A for all Giant fans. What the hell are some of these people thinking out here?
Let's hear it, buddy.
I need more light.
Oh God, Pizzle, Pizzle.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
What's wrong with Daniel Jones all of a sudden? What, he sucks? Well, what the hell's wrong with Daniel Jones? We're done with Daniel Jones. What are we going to do? Huh? Wait, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
All right.
What are we going to do?
Let's talk about Daniel Jones. I'm with you. I don't think this was the week for anybody to start to, I understand people that the whole year have questions about Daniel Jones. Let's be fair, Pizzle. This year, I think we were both hoping he'd be more advanced at this point in the season. I'm not telling you he won't be the answer long term. So I understand people that are somewhat down on Daniel Jones this year. But this week was not the week to do it. He clearly was hurt. Garrett came out with a really bad game plan. And this loss to me, please stop spamming, guys. You're just going to get kicked out. Stop spamming. Yeah. It's just stupid. Stop spamming.
Who's spam? Who? Let me tell you what. If you spam, you're a booger eater. That's just simple as that.
Simple as that. But I'm with you. This was not the week to say Dan Jones is not the guy. Blah 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 blah. Like the criticism this week should have been on the offensive line. It should have been on the offensive game plan, and it should have been on special teams. The special teams was atrocious.
Special teams sucked.
Yeah, the special teams was atrocious for the third straight week. Yeah,
I don't understand why we always got to blame somebody, and most notably the quarterback. We're literally like a few players away, and now everybody wants to draft a quarterback. I know he sent a super chat, but whoever sent the super chat talking about drafting a quarterback in the second round, he's a booger eater. I don't know who did it, but he eats his boogers because what are you talking about? Like we're this close away, and we're gonna draft a quarterback in the second round.
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you. Let me just get this real quick. Nick says, "Pizzle, you're one of my favorite creators. Turn on the super chat." Well, there you go. Oh, he's talking about for your channel. Turn on the super chat.
Nick.
And David Searby says,
"Buy your mama something."
David Searby says, "Parsons and Martinez equals LT and Banks or wide receiver." I would love Parsons in this linebacking core. But I think, let me ask you, Pizzle, right now today, and I know we don't want to talk draft. We're still in the playoffs. We got the Cleveland Browns.
I've had to take about 5 aspirin a day because Giant fans are making my head sick. Seriously.
All right. What is the biggest need on this team right now? Because like you said, everybody's saying quarterback. What is, in terms of player, what is the biggest positional need?
We need a playmaker on the offense. And the sad part is probably our biggest playmaker is hurt.
Saquon
Barkley. So with that being said, we need a playmaker, right? I mean, nobody did Evan Ingram play on Sunday? Because I don't know if he did or not.
If he did, he might. I think he had 1 target.
Yeah, if he did, I don't know. So no, I don't see anybody blaming him. Nobody wants to talk about him. My boy Slayton, he played all right, but
Golden, he didn't do much.
He played all right. I mean, Tate makes 1 big catch every game, but that's it, about one big catch. And then outside of that, it's I love Shepard, but I mean, everybody's like, well, Daniel Jones ain't big game. Well, is any of the receivers big game? I mean, is anybody on the offensive line big game?
Let's talk about Garrett.
I don't know why people are blaming Garrett either.
Garrett's been drawing a ton of criticism.
Your quarter. Listen, okay. If you went into as a fan, you just think that everything's all right, right? Everybody's playing, everybody's 100%. But the likelihood is if you have intel, like you have special intel where the coaches know, like, okay, like Daniel Jones can't run, for example, right? Let's say they go into it and say, we can't do any running plays with Daniel Jones, which means all of the RPOs are non-existent, right? You could maybe bluff a couple RPOs.
Well, even if they didn't have intel, they knew by as soon as that game started, within 2 drives, that he was not himself in terms of being a threat in the running game.
Okay. That means whatever plays are in the playbook, they're gone. That means you just eliminated some of your playbook.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I would argue, and this is the thing that I can't believe, because I would think that Giant fans, as passionate, as hardcore as they are about their opinions, you would think that they would just be glued to the television watching these games, that you would see that the RPO portion of our playbook is probably our strongest thing to our playbook. I mean, some of our biggest plays this year has come off the RPOs.
No doubt about it.
I mean, you know, everybody laughed at Daniel Jones because he stumbled and fumbled all the way in Philadelphia. But the fact is, that was still a long-ass run. So, I mean, half of you would have been dead about 40 yards down the field. But nevertheless, you know, you take that away from Jason Garrett, now it limits his playbook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
let me ask you this. Do you think Joe Judge made a mistake starting Daniel Jones?
If he was the one that made the call, then yes, it's on him.
Because I think
if he is the one again. But in saying that, Chris, he might have a guy in the training staff who he goes to and says, "Yep, he told me that he was 100% ready to go." Now I understand that Joe Judge is the overall general, the head of the damn whatever you want to call, like he's the head of the snake. But at the end of the day, Joe may have relied that information on somebody else,
right? Like the doctor or whatever, yeah,
whoever. And then Daniel just trying to be a leader, here's what's crazy to me, Chris. Oh God, I need another aspirin. So here's what's crazy to me.
I just got to read this to you.
Go ahead and read it.
Judge and Grammer 60-minute man. Garrett equals a 22-minute man.
I don't understand the hate for. I don't understand. I just don't get the. I don't go ahead.
I know that you always say the 60-minute man thing. So.
No, I know that, but I don't understand why Garrett. His playbook was cut in half. Probably is what I'm saying. But go ahead.
No, he had limitations.
Do you want to read that one before I go nuts? Before I'm going to go nuts on that. I got another point I want to make.
Michael Sack says, I'm here so I wouldn't get fined. What's up? What's going on, Michael? And Ryan says, Jones wasn't ready and won't be till next year. If he can't run, he shouldn't be out there. And that's what I might agree with Ryan because they say hamstring. I mean, if in baseball terms, he would be on the 10 to 15 day DL. Yeah. Which is the rest of the season pretty much at this point. He wouldn't have played this week.
He wouldn't have played this week. So, yeah, I mean, he would be on the 10 to 15 day deal. So, here's what kills me is like, I don't know when we made this transition. Maybe it had to do something with fantasy sports. I don't know. But what happened to the fans, and it used to be, I think, a New York thing. You can speak on this more than I can. What happened to the fans that would be proud of their players for going out there and trying to gut it out? Like, you remember when Eli
I don't know if you watched my video today. I pointed that out today. I couldn't believe, and I saw it. I saw it all over. I saw it on Twitter. I could not believe that fans criticized Daniel Jones for playing this week. Daniel Jones, he's a player. He's a competitor. If it was the same thing with Saquon Barkley last year, I didn't criticize Saquon Barkley when he played. I didn't think he should have been playing. That's on the coaching staff to say, no, you're not ready to play. We're going to sit you for another week. You don't give us the best opportunity.
It's on them to protect him.
It's on them to protect him and put the best interest of the team forward. And if they feel he's limited, that's on them. I could not believe that people criticize Daniel Jones for playing.
They're the trainer. He's the boxer. He's been getting his ass kicked. We're telling him, let's save it for another day. We're putting in the white towel right now because it ain't working out. That's what frustrates me about the game, Chris, is that we didn't take the week to prepare with Colt McCoy as the quarterback. And we were in this loophole of like, well, maybe Daniel's going to play. And then when Daniel did play, we didn't practice with Daniel at any form. And it was showed, right? It showed that they weren't prepared at all. And then all of a sudden people are like, well, get him the hell out of here. He went out there and tried to gut it out for the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
But because now we live in this fantasy factory, boogery, number game, trash, content, nonsense world we live in now, everybody's out here like, well, he didn't give me 35 fantasy points. He sucks. He's out there trying to win a ball game for your favorite football team. And you just come on here and just take a big shit on him? Like, what are we talking about, Chris?
Pizzle, you and I both know. You know this fan base. You've been a Giant fan your whole life. And you've been on YouTube.
Unfortunately, I do.
Even though you don't live in New York. And you and I both know that the people, and I understand people that are down on Jones. Like I said, I think the guy's got 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I understand people that are down on Jones. I think that's fair to at least be critical and question about whether or not he's the quarterback going forward. I think that's fair. But you and I both know the second that Daniel Jones had a bad game, people were going to jump on him. Regardless of circumstance, you knew that people were going to jump on him, and that's what happened. People were looking for a reason to point the finger and be critical, and that's what happened.
Can you tell me? I'm as big as a Giants fan as it gets. I honestly don't know the last time the Giants had a 4-game winning streak until this last week. When can you tell?
Yeah, 2016.
Did you look that up?
I did.
Because you'd have had to, because I didn't remember it. That's what I'm saying. It's like we did something that we haven't done in years. And Daniel, and like, here's another thing too. This is what's crazy to me, Chris. And I said this in my video today, and I was talking a little crazy. But like, clearly he's the offense. Because if he's hurt or if he's out, the offense doesn't move.
Yeah. He was the sole reason why we scored any points at all that's the thing. It's like, you want to get rid of the guy who is the offense right now? Like, he is the offense. And like, this is crazy to me because, again, I would donate my hamstring to him if I could, but he's not healthy. And he may not be healthy for the rest of the year. Yeah. I don't think he plays this week. I'd be surprised if he plays this week.
He looked rough. I mean, look again. Yes, I agree. He looked awful. Like, I don't think he looked good at all. But I think it had everything to do with his legs.
Yeah, and I think, and Ryan, man, thank you very much, man. I'm just going to read this one as well. But I think that also where the Giants made a big mistake, Garrett made a big mistake, and I'm not, I'm not one of these guys. There's a lot of guys on Twitter they think Garrett is the reason for all the problems. I am not one of those guys. But I think Garrett, knowing that Jones was limited, and Jones is in the game, you can't change that. They should have run the ball a lot more than they did. They should have run the ball a lot more than they did, knowing that Jones was limited. So I thought he did a really bad job there. And I also want to talk to you about the where he's being critiqued the most. And I think it's fair. I want to talk to you about the drive real quick on his decision making.
For Garrett?
For Garrett.
Are you going to talk about the 3rd and 1?
I want to talk about the whole situation. 1 second. Ryan says the D shows up every time, but Jones can't say, I won't play. Only Judge can tell him to sit. I agree. That's on Judge. That's not on Jones, Ryan. Thank you very much. And Dylan, man, thank you very much. I think some Giants fans gave DJ unrealistic expectations. He was never really ready to take them the year 2 leap. Like, I agree. The Danny Dimes thing was the stupidest thing of all time. People saying that he was going to be the blah, blah, blah. When you build somebody up like that, you're only setting them up for failure. And I agree to a certain extent. But what I want to talk about is that drive where he I think rightfully at least, drew some criticism. The first down play. What did you think of that play call? 3-yard route. You're on your own 8-yard line. Everything's a 3-yard curl route coming out of the shotgun. I thought that was a bad play call to start that drive.
Here's the thing. I don't think Garrett had a great game. I honestly just think that this was just a really bad game for the Giants. Like one of 16 that was a really bad game. Honestly, it probably was one of only 2 bad games we've had this year. The other one being the Niner game.
The Niner game was horrible.
Right? But this stacks up with the Niner game, in my opinion, as just being just awful, awful game. I mean, to me, like, I don't know about the decision-making, Chris, but again, like, boy, it'd be nice to be able to run an RPO in that spot.
No, that's a really good point you bring up, that the whole playbook wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the playbook is gone. I have a question.
Yeah.
Here's what Go. No, I don't want to. I don't want to change subjects. But I'm curious as to what quarterback is out there that people just desire so much without Mahomes, because Mahomes is like a fucking unicorn. Okay, without him, who is the one guy that everybody just oohs and ahs over that they would desperately want right now? Like, I just don't like when I watch Daniel Jones play. Like, I understand the maybe being a little nervous about if he's going to get it done or not. Like, I get that now. I'll be honest. Every time he gets hit, I am nervous. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, did he fumble? Oh, he did. Oh crap. Like, I am nervous. He's going to throw interceptions. That's just part of the game. But I just wish I wish I knew what people really wanted in a quarterback other than Pat Mahomes.
I mean, I can name other quarterbacks that I think are better.
No, I'm not saying who's better, but give me a quarterback that you would love to have right now on the Giants outside of Mahomes.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers.
I know, but he's on the back nine of his career.
Right. All right. So you're talking about a young quarterback.
I'm talking about just anybody. But like what I'm saying is every quarterback you're gonna find probably has some type of a problem. But go ahead.
Well, Russell Wilson.
Watson. I like Russell Wilson. He's up there.
Deshaun Watson.
He's been hurt before.
He has been hurt.
He's had injuries.
But I take him. Chisholm, man, thank you very much, man. Jalen Hurts has more rushes than our running back. I don't know how Jalen Hurts won that football game last week. And Ryan Clay says, I would pay for Deshaun Watson in Washington. A lot of people like Watson's had a good year this year with no weapons over there. I mean, bottom line is this.
Let me ask this. Because this is a good debate right here, because I see his name pop up, Josh Allen, which then is another thing that came up with the geek. Who's that geek? Jordan Renan. Was it him? Was it that geek who brought it up?
Yeah. He tweeted it.
Yeah. That geek. Daddy's money put him through college so he can make these geeky ass tweets. And his thing was, which by the way, look at the gun fingers, bang, bang. He wanted to know, like, why did the Giants draft Josh Allen instead of Sparkley? Didn't he make that tweet?
Yeah, he said, all right, this is the way I took the tweet. I don't know if he would basically. I think he's saying in retrospect, like if he was doing a redraft, they should have taken. But here's what I'll say to that.
I could answer that. I could answer it now, though, Chris. But
here's what I'll say to that, Pizzle. And I'm a Josh Allen fan.
I think his game's awesome.
Yeah, I said going into the year, I think Josh Allen's gonna be the breakout quarterback in the NFL this year. But here's what I'll say to that.
Okay.
I don't know if Josh Allen's successful with the Giants if we draft him in 2018, because the Giants didn't build their team nearly as well as the Buffalo Bills did. The Buffalo Bills had cap space in 2018. They built up that offensive line immediately. They got them top-tier wide receivers. I don't know if Josh Allen is nearly as successful here with the New York Giants, not to mention the Bills had one of the best defenses in football. So they had a team ready to support their quarterback. The Giants didn't.
Another thing that Josh Allen has? Stephon freaking Diggs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Wide receivers. Yeah.
We don't have, as much as I love Darius Slade, we don't have Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, again, and I'm not saying he makes Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has been way better this year than he was previous year. His percentage, and then guess who just randomly showed up? Stephon Diggs. Is it a coincidence that the Saints were struggling at the start of the year when they didn't have Michael Thomas, and all of a sudden they get Michael Thomas and they look like world beaters all of a sudden? Like, they have playmakers. Like, they have a guy on their offense that moves the change, who makes big time plays, who creates separation. Like it's just so in retrospect, like, yeah, okay, is Josh Allen better than Daniel Jones to the eye test and to the, like, I guess, yeah, sure. But again, like, what would Daniel Jones be if he had Stephon Diggs? I don't know.
He'd be better. I personally don't think he'd be as good as Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen.
Yeah, you could make that case.
Potential. Yeah,
you could make that case. I get that. I understand. And which, by the way, I thought Josh Allen played an amazing game on Monday night against Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh blitzed him all freaking night, night long.
He was great,
and he stood. Yeah, he was amazing. He was spectacular. So, while Jordan Renan was on there picking his boogers, watching the game, and tweeting out his goofy shit, like, I get that, but like, take yourself back to that moment. Are you drafting Josh Allen over Saquon Barkley?
Josh Allen was a big question mark coming in, huge risk.
Huge.
Yeah. I don't think many GMs would have taken Josh Allen.
And here's another thing too, and I can guarantee you too. This is the thing that just makes me nuts about New York Giant fans. I guarantee you, 90% of you, 90 freaking percent of you didn't watch one game of him play in college. Not one, not freaking one. And so to sit here and say like, oh well, that was a surefire miss by Dave Young. Well, you didn't even watch him play in college. So what the hell are you talking about? I bet you watched Saquon though. I bet you watched Saquon at Penn State. I needed another aspirin, because like it's nuts to me. They lose one game. This happens.
I got to read Rolly because he addresses you. Ryan first says all running quarterbacks get hurt. Look at the numbers. Well, I think that's something that you have expressed that you're concerned with.
Yeah, I've 100%. I think that's something Daniel Jones has to fix.
Yeah. Roldy says, Cop Izzle, what the F are you talking about? Allen was making big jumps from year 1 to year 2 without Diggs. So what the F is your South okay. accent talking about?
Let me tell you, is it Roldy? Is that how you say his name? Roldy. Yeah, right. Talk to me when you can make a better picture and I can see your face, because you look like Batman in that photo, okay? Don't talk to me when I can see your damn face, okay? Josh Allen is a fact right now. Josh Allen has had a better year this year than with Stephon Diggs. It's just facts. Go look at his numbers. Facts.
Yeah, no, I agree. No. He's much better this year.
There's no question he's good. I'm not saying that he's.
What I think Roldy is getting at is that he took a jump from year 1 to year 2. Daniel Jones hasn't. But
is that a Lakers jersey he's wearing too?
It might be.
I bet it's a LeBron jersey too, which means I hate him.
But what
means I hate him.
But what I'll say is,
I'm Joker to his Batman.
Let's be fair. And I think Josh Allen's a better quarterback. I am not coming on here and saying that I think Dan Jones is better than Josh Allen.
I agree with that, Chris.
But let's be fair. Josh Allen, to my knowledge, and I'll have to look it up, I don't think he had to learn a new scheme in his second year. He came back with the same scheme. He came back with an improved unit. The offensive line was much better. They got him wide receivers. They got him Beasley. They got him Brown. That is part of the reason why he took a jump. But to Roldy's point, I agree. He showed a lot more promise in his second year than Dan Jones has. But I think there's factors. But I would take Josh Allen. I'm not on here telling you.
Is this Josh Allen's third year? This is his third year.
It's now his third year, yes.
Okay. Maybe Daniel takes a nice step to his third year.
That's what it comes to. Well,
maybe he does, but you're not going to replace him now.
Here's what I'm going to say. If he doesn't, that's when you start to question it. Next, that's for me. I don't know what your opinion is, but if we get him the wide receiver and he doesn't show progression next year, that's when you start to think.
Look at Pedro right here. First of all, look at this picture. Nice picture. Got a sunset in the background. Beautiful. This is the guy right here.
Where do you think that is? That looks. Where do you think that is?
It doesn't matter. He clear as day. Looks like a 60-minute man. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me that we got a good comment right here.
He says, "I think it's funny how we are. Everything was awesome, and one bad game, everything is bad again."
And by the way, Chris, one of the main reasons why I joined YouTube fucking 100 years ago was because of the because this voltage of just toxicity of people that hated Eli Manning. And it was either you were on Eli train or you were off the Eli train. You didn't like how the draft went. You did how. And here we go again, because they almost ran Eli Manning out of town after 4 years.
I said it, and again, I'm not comparing Daniel Jones to Eli Manning, but I said it week 3, week 4 this year when people are already talking about tank for Trevor. I said it. If Daniel Jones played in this era, he doesn't see his 4th year.
You mean if Eli Manning played in this?
He never won the Super Bowl.
You talking about if Eli Manning played in this team? Yeah, because it's nuts to me. It's not like you literally almost made that mistake with Eli, and now you're be careful what you wish for here, because you're out here saying like, well, we just need to replace the quarterback. It's not just a quarterback game. Like we literally, and then a week ago they showed you that with Colt McCoy they could go into Seattle and win. The fact is they tried to play Daniel and he wasn't 100%. It's that simple.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
He lied. I mean, if anything, he lied.
Well, here's the thing, Pizzle. I can't get on Jones though. He's a competitor. No. And he felt, and in his heart, he probably felt like he was good to go.
I actually find respect in that. It's and first of all, you've got these great athletes on the Arizona Cardinals across from you that are all trying to rip your head off, right? I mean, that shot that he took on Marcus Golden was pretty nasty, right? Marcus Golden gave him, which, whatever. Marcus Golden, like, whatever. I'm sure some people were like, oh, we shouldn't let him go. But anyways, not like we've missed him, honestly, on the defense.
Let me ask you that because it's something I didn't think about going into the game. And a lot of my subscribers pointed out, I thought it was a good point. Do you think Golden playing for the Giants, do you think he knew Andrew Thomas's weaknesses and that had something to do with it?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would think that by the time I would think that, I don't know. To me, I think any rookie in the National Football League has had tape on them, and they all have weaknesses. And every team in the National Football League can pinpoint every rookie's weakness at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just facts. I mean, it's like Jalen Hurts looked really good for Philadelphia, right? Looked really great. Like, well, guess what? A defensive coordinator either now or in the offseason is going to figure out what his weakness is, and they're going to exploit it. It's the same difference in Major League Baseball. Oh, great, you can hit the fastball? Well, here's a curveball. See if you can hit the curveball. Oh, wait, you can't.
We saw with our quarterback. First start against Tampa Bay. Nobody had tape on him. He went out.
Nobody had tape on. Yeah, exactly.
It looked like that. Everybody, Pizzle, I know you were a big Eli guy.
Yeah.
And I supported Eli too. I didn't think they should have made the change when they did. But
No.
yeah, that's in the past now. Whatever. But the fact of the matter is, when they brought Jones in there, everybody said, "Oh, they laughed at me. They probably laughed at you. I told you so. I told you so. I told you." And then defense has got a book on them, much like you're talking about. And yeah, that's a good point you bring up.
Well, that's the thing is, and that's the biggest thing about. So, like, yeah, does Justin Herbert look really good? Yeah, well, give him an offseason and see if he looks good next year, right? Lamar Jackson looks pretty good, right? But I would think that he's regressed this year. He's regressed. I know some people were talking about how
he's definitely regressed.
So, and why is he regressed? Because they started to go at his weakness. He's still an amazing player, don't get me wrong, but the fact is he has regressed. What is it? What is he talking? What is Barry talking about? Go ahead. Let me
read it. All right. Barry asked, thoughts on a potential McAdoo reunion. He has connections with Graham. With Green Bay. I'm trying to think. Did Graham? I know Graham. I can't remember what years Graham coached
in Green Bay.
Yeah, no, but I don't. I feel like McAdoo was with the Giants when Graham was coaching in Green Bay. I'd have to go back and look at the timeline, but I think by then McAdoo was with the Giants. And his offense was ranked 12 and 6 in his 2 years as OC. Made Eli look great.
There is no chance in hell.
Well, the first thing I'll say, I completely agree. People have brought up Sherman. They brought up now McAdoo. It's not going to happen.
No.
Do I think that type of offense could potentially fit Jones's skill set? Maybe, but it will not be McAdoo. They're not bringing McAdoo back.
A guy that has been a head coach of a team is not going to come and be a coordinator later in his career.
Yeah. I do think that type of offense could fit Daniel Jones' skill set well, though. I think Jones is more me personally. I think he's a West Coast style offense type quarterback. I think that's why we drafted him. We thought that he fit the Shermer scheme. McAdoo is a lot of short passes, get the ball out quick. I think that could fit his skill set a little bit, but that will never happen. But if they bring in an offensive coordinator, I think it's going to – all right, let's just play the game, Pizzle.
Do you not think Daniel Jones throws a good deep ball?
No, he does. I don't think he has superior arm strength. I think he throws an accurate deep ball. Yeah, I think he has average arm strength and he throws an accurate deep ball.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do think he was drafted for Shermer's scheme, which is a West Coast style offense. They felt like he fit the scheme.
By the way, we're going to beat Cleveland on Sunday night.
I'm not saying it, Pizzle, because
I'll go ahead and read this and I'll tell you why. Go ahead.
All right. Ryan says Jones has a lot of pressure from following Eli, and they did Eli dirty. Jones didn't even practice. It was a huge gamble on Judge. He did practice. My guess is that they will gamble again. He did practice. I think he practiced with the first team for like 3 days or at least 2 days, but it was definitely a gamble.
I mean, Eli got done dirty over a course of a couple years.
4 years. 3 years.
I mean, a few years if you want to. I mean, he got done dirty,
Maybe 2 years. 2 years, I think is fair. 2 years.
It's funny because, and I'm not saying anything bad about him, but OGR made a video. There might be some OGR fans in here. OGR said that the Giants are trying to go with Daniel Jones to create a dynasty. Okay? In his latest video, he made a video on this.
What do you mean?
Well, he made a video in the shower. I don't know. I still don't know why he made the video in the shower, but he made a video in the shower. Okay? Right. Excellent content. Which, by the way, I can't stand when, and not picking on you, Chris, but I can't stand when people always take make videos in cars. Like I don't know. Everybody's making a video in a car these days. But anyways, OGR made a video in a shower. Like, that's unique. I'll give it to him. But he said that the Giants have never had a dynasty, which I disagree with him. Because I think we had a dynasty. It just didn't work out with the 07 to 11. Because we should have won 3 Super Bowls.
07 would have been a dynasty.
Eli Manning in between there was as good as it gets. Like in the NFL, was as good as it gets.
He was up there. He was close. He was top 5. In 11, he was definitely top 5.
He wasn't getting the media credit, but he was as good as it gets. And maybe it's because his brother, maybe it's Tom Brady. I don't know. There was a lot of really good.
They had it set up perfectly, Pizzle, because that team in 08, before Spurs shoots himself, you had the best top 3 offensive line in the sport. You had probably the best defensive line in the sport. You had an emerging quarterback. That team, I completely agree with you.
You won the Super Bowl, and then the following year, you were the number 1 seed.
They were the best team in football. It wasn't close before Burt.
It was a dynasty.
Yeah.
We just didn't get the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But that was as close I think the Giants have ever came. But so I disagree with them a little bit on there, and I understand the fact that the Giants are trying to build one now, and I really believe they have a championship caliber defense right now. I really believe that.
I think it's a piece or 2 away, but it's very close.
Yeah, it may be a piece, but you could still do something with it this year.
It's a very good defense.
That defense, you take that defense and you put them on maybe Seattle, for example. That team might win the Super Bowl.
This is not a good answer to ask a Pizzle on the channel. I'm gonna let Pizzle answer this. If the right deal comes,
I don't want to answer this.
If the right deal comes, would you trade Saquon?
Why does this question always come up? I see this question like every single day.
This is the most popular question. I've never seen a fan base that is so excited to trade away their most talented player. I understand the logic behind you don't want to pay a running back.
Nobody's trading for that. Nobody's trading for Saquon Barkley. You're not getting a top deal for him right now.
He had an ACL injury.
Yeah, you got to literally see what he looks like coming back.
Yeah, I don't see it, man.
When's the last time a big running back got traded?
What's his name got traded? Marshall Faulk got traded, but that's a while ago. He got traded from the Colts to the Rams. You had that horrible trade when the Browns, what's his name? The Browns traded the running back to the Colts for Andrew Luck. He was the 5th overall pick.
Richardson.
Yeah, Trent Richardson. They gave up like a first-round pick.
Yeah, but he was done. They took a flyer on him.
That was a horrible trade. Yeah. But you're right. Usually, it's rare that you see a high-profile running back get traded. It's rare.
Yeah, it's rare for a quarterback to not. I mean, if you want to talk about look at the Lions with Matthew Stafford. My God, Matthew Stafford would have never made it here. You know what? We'd have ran him out of town.
He didn't make it with the Lions either.
No, he's still with the Lions. But what I'm saying is the career that he's had, he would have never made it in New York. Never.
Yeah. No chance. And Eli wouldn't have made it here either. Like I said, in today's day and age, he wouldn't have made it. Chris says too much quarterback hype nowadays. Football is still a tough and gritty game. Win the trenches, run the ball, limit turnovers, and you control the game. Period. Chris,
that's a good look. I think sometimes people want to send you super chats, Chris, and they don't know what to say, and so then they just say a question like that. What do you guys think about trading?
I think that's a great super chat.
I think. I'm giving Chris his due. It's that's what a good super chat's supposed to look like.
Chris, I agree. I think you need that. Here's what I'm going to say.
What is he saying? That's stupid. He's hurt all the time. He's stuck in watching. What? He's stuck.
He's talking about Barkley. But Ryan says that's stupid. He's hurt all the
Oh,
time.
he's stuck with.
We couldn't trade him if we wanted to. I think that's what he's getting at right now because of the ACL injury.
Oh,
but to go back to Chris's point, I agree. I'm old school. You know, you call me old school. I recognize it's more of a passing league than it's ever been, and I recognize that you need a quarterback to win your football games, much like Eli did. But at the end of the day, if you could control the line and you have a quarterback that can make plays, you don't need Pat Mahomes. You don't need Aaron Rodgers. You need a guy that could convert on third down. You need a guy that can convert on the third and shorts, the second and shorts. If you have the trenches, if you can pressure the quarterback and protect your quarterback and establish a ground game, you can win football games.
Yeah.
Period. But of course, you want a quarterback that could go out there and put the team on his back. We had that, and with Eli Manning.
You want every game to have when a player, if one player can't get it done for you, or a unit can't get you done, you want another unit or a player to step up and carry the load. Yeah,
that's what good. Yeah,
step up and carry the load. And unfortunately, for example, in Seattle, Wayne Gallman said, "I'll put the team on my back," and he did, and he took charge. He didn't have a good game on Sunday. Maybe Garrett didn't really give him enough touches. Right? We can make that point. Apparently, they wanted to try to attack Arizona through the air, and it didn't work.
No.
Bad game plan. Bad game plan, and bad to let Jones. That's the thing is, I think they were desperate to try to maintain a win, to get a win and keep it going. Honestly, if they lost to Seattle, I don't even think Jones plays the Arizona game, unless you look at it like, well, they might have said, well, we're really desperate for a win now. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna get to Rolly first, and then I'm gonna get to Pedro Super Chat. Chris, you need a quarterback that's going to make non-scripted plays. I mean, yeah,
he wants a fantasy quarterback.
No. I agree with that. Like, you need a quarterback. That's what Eli did.
But isn't like every quarterback a system quarterback?
Well, every quarterback should be a system quarterback. You should fit a system around your quarterback's strengths.
Like, everybody loves Pat Mahomes, right? And I love Pat Mahomes. There's no question about it. But he also has this unicorn called Tyreek Hill, who can just outrun everybody.
Travis Kelce, Andy Reid.
Travis Kelce, probably best tight end in the league.
Andy Reid, smartest.
Andy Reid, a genius. Which, by the way, another mistake by Philly to let that guy go.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
But I think, like I said, Roldy, I think you need a quarterback that can make plays. Not everything's always going to be perfect. I agree with that, but you don't need Pat Mahomes. That's what I think we're getting at. Pedro says, if Garoppolo made it to the Super Bowl, Jones can too. Here's the thing I'll say about that, and I'm not saying that Jones can't get to a Super Bowl. I need to see more growth. Okay, I'm not even thinking Super Bowl right now. I'm thinking improvements. But here's what I'll say to that. What did he have? What did Garoppolo have that right now, if we're being fair, the New York Giants don't? And I don't hate Garrett. He might have the best offensive play caller in the league outside of Andy Reid. I mean, Shanahan, you saw what he did with Matt Ryan with Atlanta, brought him to a Super Bowl, and then he did the same thing with San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan's one of the most brilliant offensive minds in football. That certainly didn't hurt Pedro. But, Garoppolo's nothing special. I agree with that.
Can I go ahead? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to tell you why we're going to beat. Well, I think we're going to beat Cleveland.
Tell me why.
Well, if nothing else, the game will at least come down to late in the fourth quarter. This is with Colt McCoy at quarterback or Daniel Jones at quarterback. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Did you watch the game last night?
I did.
You know what I saw?
What'd you see?
Listen carefully. I saw a team last night in the Cleveland Browns who literally gave everything they had. Mm-hmm. I mean, did that not look like they gave everything? Like they put it all on the table. They didn't leave nothing. They gave every ounce of effort to try to beat the Baltimore Ravens, a team that they desperately wanted to beat. Right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
They put everything into that, and that was a pretty physical game. At the end of the game, there was no defense because both defenses were pretty much gassed.
Okay.
Right?
I'm following you so far.
So obviously that was a heartbreaking loss.
Right.
How many days do you think it takes them to forget that game?
All right.
How many days? So first of all, it's a short week for them. It's a short week.
And they're traveling.
How and now they're going to just come and play the New York Giants, or are they still thinking about letting one get away from Baltimore? That was a big game for them.
I hope you're right, Pizzle.
No, I know I'm right. My fact is, if you get in a fight and you get embarrassed in the schoolyard by some dude named Joe, and then next week you got your ass kicked, right? You put everything in that fight against Joe, and all of a sudden some dude named Brian, Tattoo Brian, or I'm sorry, Tattoo Tony, wants to have a fight with you in 4 days, 5 days. Everybody's been making fun of you for the last couple of days because Lamar Jackson and his shit diapers beat you. You ain't gonna be thinking about Tattoo Tony. You're gonna be thinking about the guy who whooped your ass in front of the whole damn schoolyard. I'm telling you, the Cleveland Browns are not going to come into this game on Sunday Night Football thinking about the New York Giants. I'm telling you, they're not going to.
Pizzle,
I'm not trolling either. That little booger eater down there saying I'm trolling. I'm not trolling. I'm telling you, that's grown men losing on national television with a lot of pride, and they didn't want to lose that game last night. They were giving everything they had, Chris, everything, and I promise you, that's going to affect them this week. I was hoping that Cleveland would win because then they would really take the foot off the gas pedal.
Here's what I'll say, though, and then I'll get to a couple of these. But here's what I'll say. If this game means so much to Cleveland, they're 9-4.
I think it means so much to the Giants, though.
Well, it means so much to both teams.
Especially if Seattle beats Washington.
No, it means so much to both teams. I'm not trying to discount what it means to the Giants, but this means a lot to Cleveland. I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think they've shown up a playoff spot yet. So I don't know if I'm buying too much into. I hope you're right.
I'm telling you, Chris.
I'm
not telling you right now. I'll be the first to tell you right now. I get where you're coming from. Look, BJ Goodson's on that team. Olivier Vernon's on that team. There's some former New York Giant players that would probably love to show out. I get that. But I'm telling you, and I'm not saying that Cleveland's not more talented than the Giants. I mean, they've got two great running backs. You know, Baker has really stepped up his game this year.
Really good offensive line.
Myles Garrett's been great this year. I mean, no question. Yeah, they got a good offensive line. No question whatsoever. Jarvis Landry, I've always loved his game. Like, no question they've got a lot of talented players. But I'm telling you, their pride is shot from last night. I'm telling you. Them boys ain't just going to wake up out of bed saying, yeah, let's go play the Giants. Like, they're not going to be amped for that. And you're talking about Joe Judge, who's instilled a lot of discipline, a lot of fire in this team. We got embarrassed, and now we're getting embarrassed in our own media market.
I think we're going to fight this week. I agree.
I'm telling you, Cleveland's going to come in there and roll their helmets out there because they think, well, we're a much better team, just like Seattle did. Seattle took us lightly, and I'm telling you, Chris, they're not going to be in this thing at halftime. And what I'm saying is, they're going to have to take a few punches from the Giants before they wake up. We need to run and then find a way to hide, is what I'm saying.
I hope so.
We need to hit them a couple times and go run in a locker and hope they don't find us by the time school ends. You get what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
You're saying get out to that big lead and hold on tight.
And then hope it lasts.
I hope you're right, man. Ryan says, without the run threat from Jones, offense has to change. They have to run the ball as much as possible. Dag says, fans saying trade Barkley are going to be the same ones who will be mad if we do. We are building something here, one game at a time, right, Pizzle?
Look at this man's profile pic. Joe Cool.
He's a good looking man.
That's that man right there. That's a well-lit room. He's got his shit together. I mean, yeah. It doesn't surprise me that he wrote something well constructed there.
Ryan says, we beat Cleveland because of D.
I need Ryan to take his time typing things out before he sends it. He's so excited to get the super chat. He doesn't put his words together. So, like, I can read that, but, like, it's just a cluster right there. You know, I'm sure Tanner appreciated it. But, yeah, that's the thing, Chris, is I think our defense will hang with their offense, right? Yeah. I think it's possible. It comes down to our offense. And, again, that's a defense that gave up 47 points to the Baltimore Ravens. Well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they're not responsible for every point.
We ain't scoring that many points. But
I'm not saying we're scoring that many points.
No, I agree we could put up some points on them.
We can.
Yeah. But the defense is going to have to create some turnovers. We're not winning this game. I personally think we got to be +2 in the turnovers to win this game. And the special teams has to play much better than they've played the last 3 weeks.
Big Bang. Read this one. Big Bang 75, dropping the bangs.
Big Bang. What's going on, my man? The best way to get over an ass whipping is to give one.
Look at Big Bang. Now, let's look at that profile pic. That man looks like he'd whoop some ass.
Yeah, that's a bad looking man.
That guy right there, you don't want to find in a dark alley.
Mark, man, thank you very much. He says, what are you talking about? We would have rent Stafford out of New York. Daniel Jones is not the guy, period. It's not even debatable. Pizzle knows nothing.
Okay. You're a booger eater, Mark. That's like, I don't know. Like, it's like, what is Mark watching? I just want to know what Mark is watching. That's all. I just want to know what he's watching. I mean, and this is another thing too, is Mark one of these guys that threw a fit, and I'm not picking on you, Tana, that threw a fit when Jones was selected where he was picked.
No, I was against the pick.
I know. What I'm saying is Mark there still trying to prove that he was right?
Here's what I'll say. I think it's fair. Like I said earlier, I think it's fair to be very critical of Jones right now. I think that's fair. I think you even have to admit that.
Yeah, it's fair, but I'm not saying like let's get him the hell out of town, especially when we're so close. We're so close.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're a championship team right now.
The way I look at it, Pizzle, if you're going to stick with Jones, I'm completely behind it. I'll give him another year and fix this team. And if he proves not to be the guy after that, then you look to make the change. And the quarterback that you bring in has a much better situation than Jones ever inherited. That's the way I look at it. And next year, we hope he makes that big jump. That's my mindset with Daniel Jones.
I think everybody should come back. Everybody. I mean,
you're bringing back Logan Ryan?
I'm not bringing back Logan Ryan. But I do like, and again, I like Logan Ryan's game. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying I'm bringing back all of the pieces as far as Gettleman, coaches, Jones, everybody's coming back. The whole band is getting in the damn wagon, and we're going to the concert.
Keep it together. Keep it together.
We're keeping it together. The band is staying together. We're not breaking up and then doing a VH1 behind the music special of why shit fell apart. We're not doing that.
I'm with I in terms of upper management and the coaching staff. I would try to keep as much together as possible. I agree with that. Brandon, man, thank you very much. He says, what if the Giants choose to trade Leonard Williams for draft picks? What would be worth it and what is very realistic? Well, you're not, unless it's a tag and trade, which is not going to happen because he was already tagged. You're not going to then tag him again because no team's going to trade for him if he's making $22 million or, well, maybe it wouldn't be that much, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, I mean, technically it would be, I guess you could look at it as a trade. If you let him go, you'd get a comp pick for him. You would get a third round comp pick for him, but you're not going to be able to trade him. He's not under contract.
No.
ER, man, thank you very much, man. Tough loss Sunday, but we're bouncing back this week, one game at a time. Hello from Cali and go Giants. That's your kind of fan.
Yeah, that's a good quality super chat.
Yeah.
I mean, just good quality. I would get the hell out of California, but that was a good
what do you got against California?
Taxes.
Yeah,
my man ER right there is just getting screwed on taxes. Like, just move literally like to Nevada or Arizona.
Matter of fact, Pizzle, if that super chat came from California, I think I owe YouTube money because it got taxed.
Yeah, there's no like. Yeah,
I think ER just cost me $5.
I mean, I think the way their taxes go, if you make $100, they're taking 14 of it. So yeah. I mean, which is crazy. So I don't know how that breaks down $5, but yeah, I mean, I'd get the hell out of California, ER, but that's good stuff. It's just me.
Let's see what we got. Like, I don't get y'all. I don't. Let me see if I don't know if he's talking to us or somebody in the chat.
Ash Money Records, baby. Ash Money Records.
Wait. Let me see what he said. Y'all that want DJ. Okay, so he's just speaking against people that want DJ gone. Y'all that want DJ gone were the same fans that wanted to build around to wash Eli Manning. So
you ain't gonna talk about it. I mean,
well, he's sticking up for DJ.
Yeah, but you can't be talking about Eli being washed. Every quarterback eventually gets old.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, there ain't no need to be disrespecting the man on his way out.
I agree with that. Big Drip says, the Undertaker Talking Sports, does Jalen Hurts scare you? By the way, tell Pizzle stop being a homer. He sounds like, oh,
it's so stupid. Okay, so if you Big Drip, I'm sure it's big there, Drip. So if you say anything positive about the team, you're just a homer. But what if you say something bad about him? Do you have some stupid booger eater name you can come up with that you always talk bad about it? Like, what is there a name for that? Is there what do you call that guy? Toxic?
As far as the Hurts thing goes, he doesn't scare me. It's like what you said earlier. Once defenses get a book on him, they had no, I expect him to struggle going forward. I was not a big Hurts fan coming out.
What do you call a guy who is always talking bad about the team?
I think there's several types of fans.
I would the chat can answer. What do you, because you can call me a homer because I'm always supporting him.
Yeah.
What do you call so it was big bang there, which by the way, wouldn't want to mess with him. You just call him a hater. Okay. So I'm a homer and you're a hater. The double H's. Cool.
There you go. Greg says people need to give Jones a break. He doesn't have weapons.
And I sort of agree with Greg there.
Yeah, I think it's fair to be critical.
He definitely doesn't have a good tight end.
I think it's fair to be critical, but I think you also, like Greg just said, you have to realize that he got screwed. I mean, with the second scheme, and he doesn't have much of a roster around him. So I think that you have to be fair, Greg. I agree with that, and I think next year we'll see what he's got. Dag says we are going to run our division for a long time.
Yeah. Another quality super chat from Dag. Doesn't surprise me. Look at his profile picture. It says everything. And he's right, which, by the way, I will say this, right? If Washington gets a good quarterback, they're a problem.
Washington's got a good team.
If they get a good quarterback, then they'll be a problem for sure. But Philly's done. They're cooked for a little while. And Dallas, well, they'll find a way to fuck it up anyway. So who cares? So
what do you think's gonna happen with Dak?
Oh, I think he'll be a Cowboy.
You think they'll sign him to a long-term contract?
Yeah, I mean Jerry loves his Dallas Cowboy quarterbacks.
He does.
He loves his quarterbacks, and there's no way he could let his boy Dak play for somebody else. There's no way. Dak will get a nice fat contract. And honestly, I think Dak's a good player. I said at the start of the year, you can go back and watch old videos that I thought he was way better than Wentz, and even with a bad leg, he's better than Wentz.
I had to pull this one up. I can't even say anything to that. I'm just gonna point and laugh.
I just don't get it.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Mateen, I don't know what's.
You can't make that up.
I mean, he's the kind of guy that probably watches Logan Paul on repeat here on YouTube.
I can't make. You can't make that up. You just can't make that up. Hey, Abby, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What it do, bro? Give DJ a shot to prove himself. O-line will be better, and the offense will be better. Do we need a wide receiver one plus Barkley? Yeah, we definitely need a wide receiver one, Abby. There's no doubt about it. And next year, the offense next year should be at least average. At least average. And if it's not, there's big problems. Let's see what we got here. New York Black man, thank you very much. Who let this sweet home Alabama?
Thank you very much. That's cool. Which, by the way, Alabama's a great state. Matter of fact, while I watched the movie Crimson Tide a couple days ago. Have you seen that movie?
That's a great movie.
That's a badass movie.
Wait. That's the one with Denzel and Gene Hackman.
Yeah, you want to talk about
that's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, you want to talk about two guys, heavyweight boxers, throwing some acting haymakers in this fucking submarine. I mean, phenomenal. Crimson Tide, roll Tide. So Alabama. I mean, that little hillbilly fucking submarine ship down there just sinking with two badass guys. But yeah, blah, 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 blah. Anyways,
you know who was in that movie, by the way? Tony Soprano.
Yeah, he was badass in it too.
Yeah.
That was a really good cast. I mean, I'm a huge Tony Scott directed that movie.
Yes, he did.
And I'm a big Tony Scott guy. It's unfortunate he's left this world, but I was a huge Tony Scott fan. But anyways, yeah. So I'm glad he said "Sweet Home Alabama" because that song was played in that movie. That's a badass movie. And when I get done with talking to you, I'm probably going to go watch it.
I might have to watch it after this stream too. What do you got it on Netflix?
It was on Showtime the other day, but I've got Showtime so that I can just watch it on my Xfinity.
I might have to check it out. T says people who say fire Joe Judge are just trolling. 100%. Mark says LL Judge is the best thing to happen to Mark. Anytime I see this is the new rule. Anytime I see somebody say that, I am just gonna point and laugh. I might fall out of my chair, Mark. Anybody that says fire Joe Judge right now they're just lost. They're lost. They're lost. That's all I got to say about that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Up. Rolly says, Coppiz will sit in his room with shades on with a Cowboys belt thinking spitting shit.
Damn right. But let me tell you what, Rody, this is a well-lit room. You could see my face. And that's what you're supposed to. You get spit all over this belt.
Hey, will Graham leave the Giants for a head coaching job? Rowley says, I hope not. And I'm going to lean no. I think he's going to stay here. So. Yeah, I'm gonna lean no on that. I certainly hope not.
Although there seems to be that there, and this isn't a racial thing by any means, but there does seem like there is a big push to hire black NFL coaches, right? There seems like that is happening. So I guess it is a possibility. They obviously have the Rooney Rule, so I would bet that he gets at least a job interview.
Oh no! Regardless of the Rooney Rule, I think he deserves a job.
I agree with that. I'm just saying that with the Rooney Rule.
By the way, and I want more minority head coaches. I am completely.
Oh, I mean, two of my favorite coaches are. I mean, I love Mike Tomlin. I love Brian Flores.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that. How do you give more draft? Like, are you kidding me? Draft picks?
Yeah, that's stupid. I mean, that's really, really dumb. That's really, really dumb.
I don't get that.
And that to me is exploiting it. Like that's what you're actually. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like it's going against what you're actually trying to stand up for. To me, it's kind of racist in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that, but I hope. I think Bieniemy's definitely going to get a job this year.
I think he for sure will. But I think you should hire people because they're qualified.
Yeah.
Not because their skin color.
Yeah. Jake says, what do y'all think about Jason Garrett?
I like Jason Garrett. I don't know why I'm on this island by myself. Jason Garrett had a bad game on Sunday, but I actually really thoroughly enjoyed watching the offense work this year. And again, you're talking about an offense that doesn't have – how many people do you think that are outside of the NFC East fan base can name our receivers? Do you think that Golden Tate might be the most?
Golden Tate's a household name.
He might be the only household name. But how many? If you go up to I mean, I guess fantasy sports being what it is, I might be wrong. But if you go up to a Jaguars fan or just a Miami Dolphins fan or whatever, and you say, "Hey, what do you think about Darius Slayton?" You think they for sure know who Darius Slayton is?
Probably.
You think they for sure know who Sterling Shepard is?
They might know him. He's been around for a bit, but
he's been around for a little while. But my point is like I'm not so sure. We don't have these household name receivers, so it's again, and we have one of the worst tight ends in the league in Evan Ingram. So I mean, what has he got to cook with?
Yeah. I mean,
Authentic.
Yeah, I think Authentic's still in the chat. Kevin Collins says that's why we need Allen Robinson. I would love Allen Robinson.
By the way, Authentic loves my sweet home Alabama hillbilly ass, New York, whatever your name was. So if you like him, you got to like me.
Stanley says the problem with the Giants is they have too many number 2 receivers, and we need that.
I agree with that. I agree with Stanley. I don't know if that's really him in that picture though. He might be trying to catfish us, but that's a good thing, Stanley.
And you're a big Slayton guy too, but I think
I'm a big Slayton guy. But I've finally come to realize that. And here's the thing: I think the Slayton would be an awesome number 2 receiver.
Yeah, I think that's where.
Just like when I used to think that Amani Toomer was really good, then I found out, damn, he's a really good number 2 receiver.
Yeah, I think we need a serious number 1. I agree with that. Let's see what we got here. And that's the issue. There's a lot of black coaches who are qualified that gets overlooked every single year. So that's racist.
No, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is it's also racist to hire somebody who's not qualified because to get the draft pick, what you were talking about, Chris. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I am all for. I think they're definitely underrepresented.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
I just don't think I think they get like 2 third-round draft picks. Like,
I think honestly the problem is, and this is a lot of the owners are, I guess, would you say the majority of them are old white guys?
Yeah, I think almost all of them are.
I mean, it would pretty much. I mean, I think they have a hard time. I think they can have a hard time connecting to the younger black coaches in the league when they're having their meetings, for example. You know what I mean? So the fact is they see. I mean, I guess it's way deeper than that. But again, it has to be something a part of the interviewing process. But there's no question that the guy in Kansas City is way qualified. There's no question that Brian Flores has proven he's way qualified. There's no question that Mike Tomlin has proven that he can lead a franchise. I even really like Anthony Lynn. I know he hasn't had any success with the Chargers, but I think he's a good coach.
Anthony, well, yeah, he has.
I think he has his moments, but I mean, from what I've seen, I think he has the tools to get it done.
Listen, you just named two of my favorite coaches in the league. I think Mike Tomlin is one of the top 5 coaches in the league, and I think Brian. If people ask me all the time, if I could take one young coach in the league right now, and I'm taking Joe Judge out of it because I'm a Giants fan, so I'm not going to count him. I'm taking Brian Flores. I mean,
I agree with you.
What Brian Flores has done with that Miami Dolphins team has been insane.
I 110% agree with you because again, I don't care. I wouldn't give a shit if an alien came out of space and led the Giants as a coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want the Giants to be good. So I don't care who runs the team. So for me, like Brian Flores, if we could have Brian Flores I would be fine with that. I'd be completely content with it. Yeah, but I mean, great. For me, it's like, you know, I think it's, I don't know, man. Like I honestly believe that a lot of times it's the interviewing process, but I don't know what happens in those meetings because I'm not obviously in there.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
because I mean, I could see why you can honestly, when I listen to Joe Judge talk, for example, and I listen to his interviews, you can tell why he got the Giant job.
Oh,
don't you? You know what I'm saying?
You knew on his the second we heard him talk on the introductory press conference, you knew why he impressed the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, like I can see why he got it, and I don't think that has anything to do with his skin color. I just think it's the fact that I don't think Mara said, "Well, here's just another white guy. Let's put him in there." I just think he just interviewed just amazingly.
Yeah, he blew them away.
He blew them away.
I agree with that. I was very impressed with him when I heard him talk. Darth Liquor says, I say the Giants are 20th in the NFL. What do you think?
How does he come up with this?
I mean, I don't do weekly power rankings. I mean, that's probably around where we are. I would say a little bit below the middle right now, but definitely trending up. Yeah, that's about where I'd have us. I mean, I'm not, looking at every team in the league, but I'd have us in like probably the 22 to 19 range. Yeah, that's probably about where I'd have us. Yeah. Without like looking at
as a top 20, are you saying top 20 team?
I think he says he has if he was doing a power rankings, he'd have his 20th.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably.
But I'm just curious. Like, I'm glad he sends you a super chat. I'm just curious as to why he felt the need to say that. That's all.
I mean, maybe he wanted to say that he wants to hear our opinion on where we have the Giants ranked. I mean, I'd have us right around there. I'm not looking.
Joe said that I am well educated.
I wanted to pull that up so you saw that he wrote it.
So Joe clearly is not a booger eater, and Joe probably. I wonder if Joe heard my analysis of why I think the Giants can beat the Browns on Sunday night. I think Joe knows that his Browns laid everything on the table last night, and they got some pride sucked out of them.
We'll see. Naki says, hey, Chris, hope you're doing better than Sunday night. I'm really wrapping my head on if we have a chance or not. Can you both tell me why I should have faith? Well, Pizzle did a great job earlier. He gave me a little bit of hope. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, that Sunday sucked a lot out of me. That's why I took a break yesterday. But Pizzle, I thought, brought up a great point. He thinks that the Browns left everything on the table last night, and hopefully he's right. New York for Life says, whenever I hear Pizzle talk, it makes me sad how far the USA fell in education and how the South will never rise again.
You know what's – first of all, he wishes he had this accent because otherwise he'd get laid more. That's facts. That's facts.
Right. But you like New York accents. You tell me that all the time.
I think it's funny. I love Bruce. I like Bruce Springsteen. Right? He's as New York, New Jersey as it gets.
Bruce Springsteen's awesome.
Every song is like, I love Jersey, and then the next one's like, I gotta get out of Jersey.
What's going on, Big Blue Jabroni? He says Giants going 8-great and beating the Cowboys week 17 to get into the playoffs.
He gets it. He gets it.
He's in. He's all in.
Now, the only thing I question on that is what happens in the Ravens game. That's the only one I question. I don't question Cleveland. I think I honestly feel like we got a good chance against Cleveland. I don't question the Cowboy game. It's the Baltimore game that's got me a little stumped.
One game at a time.
No, I'm with you. One game at a time. But I'm saying he said 8-great. I'm on board with that. I'm cool with that. If that train's leaving the station, considering me on board with a ticket, I'm not. It's like some of these people are like, no, I'm going to get in front of the train and get run over. Like, I don't want to be a part of this. But I'm on the train, and if I'm with the slogan 8-great, I'm cool with it.
Mark Edelman says Bieniemy should have been a head coach way before Shermer. I agree with that. Shermer obviously didn't work out. And Roldy says, what the hell is a booger eater? And what the hell? Well, it's a 60-minute, not 60 seconds. 60 seconds, you got a problem there.
Yeah, 60 seconds, you got a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah. You're not going to leave her too satisfied 60-second, man. But what's
if Roldy, and I'm not disrespecting this woman here, but I'm asking if he's got a woman, just simply ask her, would you like 60 seconds or would you like 60 minutes tonight?
And what's a booger eater?
It's a booger eater. I mean, somebody that literally picks their nose and then eats it. I mean, that's about as nasty as it gets. That's somebody. I think just to go a little dive deeper into it, I think analytics people are booger eaters.
Yeah. Guys that
I think you're geeks. I think you're geeks at a computer is what I think.
Guys that go strictly by the PFF rankings.
Yes. I think I think you just blindly follow that stuff. I think you're a booger eater.
Yeah. Joe,
here we go.
Joe says, I agree with you, Pizzle. I think the Browns will be mentally defeated and they will lose to your Giants 27-18.
This is coming from a Browns fan. And Joe, this is what I'm saying right here. This is why I've taken 5 aspirins today. 5. Because I've got Giant fans who automatically are ready to just jump off every bridge they can find right now without a parachute. They forgot the parachute. They're ready to blow everything up because of one loss. And I've got a Browns fan who comes in here and says exactly what I just said. They're going to be mentally fucked on Sunday night. The last thing they're going to want to do is be in MetLife Stadium playing the Giants. The last thing. Yeah. Seriously, Tank. I'm asking you, if you got your ass whooped the week prior and then they said, hey, you got to fight this week, are you going to thinking about while you're trying to rest from your ass whooping? Are you not saying the Browns got their ass whooped, but you get what I mean? It feels like it. Are you going to be ready to go for your next contest? Are you just going to be? I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it. They're either going to want to get back on the field and get a dub back, or they're going to allow that loss to carry another loss.
I hope you're right. I'm trying to get behind what you're saying, man.
This guy.
New York Fudge says, when Pizzle asked his wife.
Clearly, I know who he voted for, by the way. I'll read it. When Pizzle asked his wife if he should go 60 seconds or 60 minutes, she replied, I don't know. Dad went 60 minutes. That's awful. That's terrible. You should apologize. Which, by the way, I've heard a lot worse over my decade-long time here on YouTube. So that doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. Which, by the way, let me tell you something else. Why don't he take his ass to Auburn University or Alabama and go look at some of the cleat chasers and Daisy Duke wearing chicks around there? I guarantee he wouldn't even leave the state of Alabama. He'd be talking about like, oh, hell yeah, Roll Tide, War Eagle. He wouldn't even leave. So I don't know why the hell he's shitting on Alabama tonight like that.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, Pizzle handles it like a champ. Cop Pizzle, who's to say Browns fan wasn't playing mind games with you?
Well, then he's a booger eater too. Because why the hell would he be in here saying that?
I believe him. I think he's buying what you're selling. But I hope you're right. That's what I'm going to say, man. I've seen Kalen write this a million times.
No, I've seen this about 10 times right here.
Pizzle, I will super chat.
I don't even hate this man's pick. I hate his name, but I don't hate his pick.
It's a nice pick.
It's a great pick.
It's like what are they a silhouette, you know?
It's like, hey, babe, that's like something he definitely Snapchatted his girl as soon as he took it. Like, what you think? You think it's a good pick? Which, by the way, looks like he's wearing sunglasses too in the dark. So hate on him. But anyways, yeah. So I'll super chat 4 buckets of fried. I don't even like fried chicken to take off those shades. So I don't.
How do you not like fried chicken?
I don't like. It's too greasy.
What do you go with? Grilled chicken?
I prefer grilled chicken. But I mean, I'll eat fried chicken. Is that like a Southern thing too? It's like, oh well, he lives in the South, so he must eat the fried chicken.
No. I thought everybody liked fried chicken. Fried chicken's delicious. I love fried chicken.
It's just greasy. It's just a hard thing. It's like you fumble it.
Yeah.
It slips out of your hands.
Oh,
it's
God.
like the Daniel Jones with it.
Let's see what we got here.
I bet you if Kalen was being honest, he Snapchatted that picture of his girl as soon as he took it. I promise you he did.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Ligma says Pizzle is a goat. What type of son?
Look at Ligma. Look at Ligma. Go back to Ligma. He's got Matt Jones. Is that Matt Jones?
He loves him.
What the hell?
He wants him to be the Giants quarterback.
Which, by the way, let me ask him. Can you name me the last great Alabama quarterback?
Well, Tua.
I mean, is he great? Do you consider him great?
Well, it could be.
Is it Jalen Hurts because he was Alabama?
Yeah, it could be Tua.
It could be. That's what. But I'm saying, but even with him, like, is he great? That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know.
We don't know yet. Josh, man, you have a great one, man. Brian says, if the Giants don't get a number 1 receiver in free agency, would you like them?
Yes.
To take a playmaker like Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase in the first? Yeah.
Yes. I'd be cool with that.
I'm definitely leaning wide receiver, corner, or coverage linebacker, but we definitely need a playmaker. Jake says Jason Garrett's scheme doesn't fit DJ. Too many short concepts that teams are jumping on. DJ is best when attacking downfield, and he can't scheme wide receivers open. A lot of people said that. A lot of people seem to think that they don't that this scheme isn't creating.
But in that case, then Jake G 100% believes in the receivers that we have.
I think a lot of people think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
I think they think it's a combination of both. Listen, I said it earlier.
I honestly can't believe how much people hate Jason Garrett.
Here's the thing. I think people that think Jones is the answer are going to blame Garrett, and people that think Jones is not the answer are going to tend to not blame Garrett. I try to be in the middle. I try to realize that Garrett doesn't have much like Jones doesn't have a perfect situation. You could say the same about Garrett, and I think there's limitations with this offense. I see both sides of it. Because he did perform better in Shermer's scheme, so I see both sides of it. I see both sides of it. But I like what Garrett's brought to this team in terms of a run-heavy approach. I think it's something that we needed.
I'm sorry. I've been reading comment. I got people just completely disrespecting me. This one guy right here. Hold on. Shit. The fucking belt just messed up my damn. Anyways, this one guy right here. Let's scroll up right here. Hold on. This guy right here said, the Browns fan. He says, the entertainer. This guy with the shades on has some really good takes. I just been on this damn YouTube for damn 13 years, and I'm just some guy with shades on. But anyways, this one guy right here,
the Browns fans like you. Maybe you should be a Browns.
The Browns fans like me, and I've said their team's going to lose.
Maybe you should be a Browns YouTuber.
But, no, I can't. They got some of the ugliest jerseys, I think, in all of football.
I'm not a fan of their jerseys.
Oh, I hate their jerseys. Their jerseys. Somebody said too, like if Bad Dog would have been in here, you'd have double the numbers. I don't know what the hell I guess that means that I suck compared to Bad Dog. I don't know. Which, by the way, Bad Dog has invited me to go on his stream tomorrow. Are you part of that tomorrow night?
No, not that I know of.
I think he's mad at me because I said some foul things about some of his words, And so he wants to have me on his channel tomorrow, and maybe we're going to be beefing a little bit. So I hate to put a promo on his channel, but I'm probably going on his channel tomorrow night. So I guess he'll only have half the viewers because I'm over there as well. So it sucks for both you guys that I had to show up, but here I am in all my glory.
Pedro says they hate Jason Garrett because of talking John. Yeah, well, yeah, they break down a lot of film, and they are definitely not fans of Jason Garrett. New York for Life says, Pizzle, do you rent your trailer home or the government pays?
You know what's funny is for the last 3 weeks, I've had people come to my post game videos and say something along the lines of like, "Oh, look, it's you hollering in your trailer again." Like, and it's like for some reason this is picking up. If they had only knew how much money I poured into this house, they would be baffled because like I tried to make this place look as cool as it gets, and it may look like a dump to some people. But no, the government doesn't pay my I wish they would. I wish they would. I wish they would.
Pizzle, I've been live for a while. I am going to close this out in a couple of minutes. I want to say thank you for coming on. I always have fun talking to you. And maybe some of the chat doesn't like you. At the end of the day,
I'm okay with that. Like that's the thing is like, you know, is honestly, it's all good. I'm just trying to help people. I'm trying to help Giant fans. Fuck off of me. I'm trying to get Giant fans who are a little bit misguided to just sway a little bit on this side of things. Like I think you're a little bit misguided in some of your thoughts. And I get the frustration, but why is it that when they have one bad game, we just go completely off on one player? That's all. That's the only reason I even came on here. Like, why is it always somebody's fault? And then when we lose a game, because at the start of the year, we were losing games and we were getting ready to burn this whole motherfucker down like Denzel Washington in Training Day, right? Everybody was going to be put on a shoe program as far as the New York Giants. You know what I'm saying? Like it was going to happen. So it just amazes me how we all just are ready to quit because one bad thing goes our way.
That's a good point. I wanted to pull this up for you because he says Doyle Brunson, by the way, the greatest card player.
Yeah, one of the greatest. Yeah, Doyle's really great, which, by the way, I'm sure y'all would all make fun of his accent while he's taking your money at a card table.
10-2 offsuit. He says, I am a Browns fan myself. I cannot agree anymore. The Browns gave everything they had on a short week, too. The Giants will win.
I'm telling you, Chris. I'm telling you.
Leroy Bird says, Gallman's 12 carries, 60 yards. Defense played great considering the predicaments that the offense and special teams placed them in. We don't need a quarterback to save us. Run the ball. Yeah, well, listen, I think we have a quarterback that he needs to improve, but I agree. The building is there. The foundation is there. Or it's not finished yet, but it's getting there. And that's the most encouraging thing. I think we're strong on both lines, and I think it's only going to get better. The defense played pretty well. The one thing I will say that I was disappointed with from the defense, Pizzle, I didn't think that the defensive line in this game played particularly well.
It wasn't a good game. It wasn't. It simply wasn't a good game.
Yeah.
The defense was put in some really bad situations because the offense couldn't move the ball, and then special teams was shit.
Special teams was horrible.
Horrible.
But yeah, I thought we did a good job in the red zone. I thought we held strong in the red zone, but the defensive line to me was a bit disappointing. But Pizzle, man, first I want to say thank you to the chat. I always have a lot of fun with these streams with you guys. Thank you to everybody for being here. I was live for over 3.5 hours. But I appreciate everybody for being here. Let me get some things off my chest, talking Giants football. And hopefully things get better this week. Pizzle seems to think we're beating the Browns. I'm trying to buy into that Pizzle.
It's not just me. It's Browns. There's Browns fans that came in here and said the same exact thing.
I'm gonna tell you what, Pizzle. You're a betting man, right? And I saw your post today on Twitter.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Yeah,
you're plus like 20 grand or something. You said over
just NFL.
Just NFL.
Yeah,
I was surprised at this spread today. 3.5. I thought it'd be bigger. I thought it'd be bigger. I really did. I thought it'd be 5.5, 6. What did you think of the spread? Did you think it would be bigger than that?
I think if Cleveland was at home, it would be 6.
Yeah.
If Cleveland was at home, but because they're going on the road, home teams usually get about 3 points at home. here's the thing. This is forget Giant talk for a moment. NFL is the thing that makes NFL so great, in my opinion, is there's actually a lot of parity in the league. So even a team like Jacksonville, who's, we know they're really bad, or even a team like the Jets, granted they didn't look good at Seattle, right? They can sneak up and beat a team like the Raiders, should have beat the Raiders, out of nowhere, right? When you would clearly think, clear as day, the Raiders should win that game. Everybody that gets on the field in the National Football League is talented. Like, you don't get on the field by accident. Right. Like, you have to earn your way. Like we can all say a player sucks, and a player can suck. Like Evan Ingram, for example, he can suck. But at the end of the day, he is skilled enough to be on the field. Where he stacks up as far as all the other tight ends, that's for a different discussion. But the fact is there's a lot of parity in the league. The teams are meant to be even because of free agency and how the draft system works. So, teams are supposed to be somewhat even. The fact is, I think that the points is a gift for the Giants, and I'm not being a homer. It's just the fact is, anytime a team is playing another team on a short week, on the road, traveling, it's a recipe for disaster for that team. It's a less day that they get to practice because they obviously played on Monday, and then they obviously have a travel day, which is on Saturday. So they have Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday to basically figure this thing out. My thing to you is they woke up today. Do you think they talked anything about the Giants today?
No.
They're trying to recover. They're trying to mentally. They're going to watch obviously the game tape, figure out what the hell went wrong.
You're starting to, Pizzle, I hate what you're doing to me. You're starting to make me believe we're going to win this game.
All I'm saying is pretend for a moment that you were a Browns player. Just pretend like you didn't even play in the game. You were on the bench and you watched all of your teammates just gut it out, give everything. And then this dejected look they had on their faces after losing to the Ravens, because they honestly looked like they were going to win when Trace McSorley was in. They looked like they had that game, and all of a sudden, here comes Lamar out there with some new shorts on, with the Superman's cape, and he just goes out there and just cuts their throat from out underneath. And the next thing you know, they're out here just throwing the damn ball all over the field on the kick return. Like, they had their hearts ripped out, Chris. Like, we got our ass kicked by Arizona, no question about it, but we didn't lose like the heartbreaking fashion. We just got outplayed, outcoached, all that stuff that Joe Judge can use as bulletin board material. Right. You can't Cleveland can't have this bulletin board material because they wanted to beat Baltimore more than anything. And I've said this, like, Washington beat Pittsburgh because the timing was right. They wouldn't have beat Pittsburgh at the start of the year. Washington.
It was perfect. It was
perfect timing for them. The fact is,
4 days rest, and
there's no more perfect timing and time to play Cleveland than it is right now. They just lost to their rivals for a second game in a row, for the second time this season, and it's devastating. It's a tough ass loss. Like, and for any of you guys to think that grown ass men are just going to get up out of the bed and all of a sudden say, "Yeah, we'll go play New York," like. They're not. I'm telling you, Chris, they're going to care, but they're not going to care.
I love your optimism. I do.
I'm serious. They really are not going to give that kind of effort.
Don't ever change, Bizzle. I love your optimism. I really do. And I think you bring up good points. I'm still not picking us, but I think you bring up good points.
I think the Giants can win, but I also think that I could see the game late in the game, and the Giants could closely lose, like losing by 3, for example. Like, Browns kick a game-winning field goal, which, by the way, Cody Parkey, he sucks. So, I mean, he could miss it too.
He missed an extra point last night.
Yeah, so, I mean, here's the thing. So, you said the line was 3.5, right? I think, to me, the fact that half being the hook, I think 3.5 is a gift. That's just me.
You like the Giants?
Oh, I love the Giants. I think the Giants are a great pick. I'm not telling you to pick them on the money line, but I think the Giants plus the points are going to be a great pick. Again, everybody and their mother is going to think, that's the thing about NFL. People bet it because they think it's easy, but it's not. Everybody and their mother is going to see what the Giants did in this low game when they only scored 7, looked awful. Then they're going to see this great game from Baker. Well, if they're so good, why is the line only 3, Chris? We could talk hours about this, and
I love it.
But the fact is, I'm telling you, mentally, Cleveland is not going to be prepared for this game. They're not going to be prepared for it. I'm telling you, they're not.
We're going to find out. I just want to get to a couple that's going to make you laugh. Kalen says, Pizzle, I'm a college student, but one day.
Yeah.
I only wish to be the 60-minute man that you are.
No.
And
college is where you start to work on your
right now
your
he's
minutes.
like a 10-minute man, right?
Well, I mean that's how college works. That's the point of going to college, Chris, is you meet ladies there. It's not for schoolwork. You dip in a couple different flavors and you start trying it. Don't go with the same type of girl. Don't just get in blonde girls. Go get you some flavors. You know what I'm saying? And then try it out, figure out what works best for you.
Baskin Robbins. 31 flavors.
Yeah, 31 flavors. Try them all.
Joe says Giants will win, as hard as it is to say, but the Giants will win. I am being an unbiased fan and facing reality.
Joe gets it.
Joe gets it. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Pizzle for coming on. Let's beat the Browns. One game at a time.
Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but I fucking forgot, Chris, because what's his name? Kalen the Dragon got to me thinking about 60 Minutes, and then old memories popped up. And some were good and some were bad, but I get where he's coming from. Like, you got to start building on that. Get a timer and a different flavor and put it in the corner and just figure out what happens.
Have a good night, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hold on.